Tonight on the podcast, we are talking about piracy and how they're coming to get you. Marvel Studios delaying more films. Ted Lasso 3 catching delays. Squid Games wanting old Leonardo DiCaprio. Keanu Reeves coming back to Constantine. What's this world coming to? And a new Karate Kid movie? You're going to find out about all that and so much more in tonight's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. It is Friday Night Phoenix, and you're locked in to the best damn podcast in all the land, the Absolute Geek Podcast. And we got a good one for you as always tonight, folks. My name is Matt.
My name is Lance.
My name is Max.
That's Max.
Ooh, boys. What's going on? What's good? How's everyone doing?
Oh, apparently I'm a donkey.
What's up, Joe's
We
Doolin?
all are. We are
I'm a
all
donkey.
donkeys.
I'm a donkey.
Joe's Doolin sporting the Monarch tonight. You're a Venture Brothers fan? Eric Williams, what's going on? What's good,
I haven't
everyone
seen
out there?
Venture Brothers in a long time.
You should probably change that. One of the greatest
Yeah,
cartoons
probably
ever. But what's going on? What's good? How's your mother's?
My mother may have been let go from her job.
Well, make sure to say hello to your mother for me.
So she was she's a school teacher, and she was doing the digital program. So like the kids that didn't want to go back to school, they were doing it online. And this year they've just been losing enrollment, that they've decided to shut down the whole program. And she's basically, she can either quit or she can go to this school that's like full of thugs and hoodlums.
They made a movie about that once. Michelle Pfeiffer was in it.
I remember the other one, the one with Hilary Swank. That was kind of like the same thing, right? Where she goes to a school where she's like harassed and stuff.
What's it? I mean, this one I'm thinking of is the one that gave us Gangster's Paradise.
Freedom Riders is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, well, that's crazy, man. That sucks for your mom.
Yeah, found out last night.
That's not going to school with a bunch of thugs, man.
I thought she was like goes to
Freedom
the school
Riders.
and gets like harassed.
Dangerous
and then-
Minds is the name of the movie.
I don't even know if I've seen
Dangerous
that.
Minds. You never seen Dangerous Minds?
No, I probably love it though.
It's a good movie.
That's true.
Let's work in a school.
I
with a bunch
love
of
it,
thugs.
Lance. Poking fun at yourself.
And we
I like that shirt, Maxie.
Yeah, the Target special X-Men animated series.
Mine came from Target. The one I
Nice.
got today.
Yeah, I had my son today. My wife had a training, and so I was like trying to work while having my son, but decided to go do a Costco run, and we went and represented Marvel at Costco today. He had a Spidey shirt on and his Spider-Man hat, and I had my X-Men shirt on, and we bought diapers, adult stuff.
Oh, so you bought adult diapers? I've been telling you to get that situation.
I
fixed.
did. I had to get some of those. Crap, what's the brand called? I
Depends.
ruined the joke. That's it. Well, no, it depends on how shitty I am that day.
What's up, Mitches? Says
I
Hartman.
bought my 8-month-old daughter a pair of Batman pajamas that are clearly for a boy, but don't care because it's Batman.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
I put my girls in
Because I'm
boys'
Batman.
clothing all the time. Now, I don't put my boys in girls' clothing because they would never wear it. But my girls, I put in boys' clothing all the time. The boys have all the cool T-shirts and stuff.
Oh, Joe's.
Joel Doolin said, never knock adult diapers for long road trips.
It's an interesting idea.
Hartman says, I bought my 8-month-old daughter. Oh, there you go. Hope we paid premium price for her.
Is that on the black market?
Speaking of adult diapers, actually, my grandma
Hartman says it's arriving Monday, and then Zaggy says, and now Hartman is on a list. LOL. I have a feeling
with Matt
having
Gaetz.
talked to Hartman over Instagram, I have a feeling Hartman probably appears on many lists for many different things. That's all I'm gonna say. He's a funny ass dude, but I think he's on many lists. And he says, "Don't be racist." What is this world coming to?
What do we say racist?
Hartman's just trolling us. He's just an internet troll. It's one of his things.
No, I was just trying to figure out if I missed something.
I don't think you did. I'm pretty sure you
my my kid is screaming through the hallways right now. Can you guys hear her?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I don't know what she's saying. She
needs to get
about something.
You need to get a rubber band gun and go out there and shoot her in the ass and say, "Shut up! I'm doing a podcast."
So we found a thing that's going to help James calm down. Well, it worked one time.
Ritalin?
And as we all know,
chloroform.
Benadryl. Yeah.
I think a lot of parents know that you might be able to calm the kid down.
Hot toddy.
No, none of those, unfortunately. No, man. Start singing. You've got a friend in me to this kid, and all of a sudden he goes from temper tantrum to wowie. Starts talking about his best friend Woody. Like,
That's how my kid is with super simple songs.
Yeah,
put those on, and she's instantly tantrum is over.
My kids used to calm down to scary kids scaring kids.
Nice. We had a punk rock song on first, but it wasn't working. He calmed down, but then after a minute, he was like, "No, I don't want this."
Isn't that weird? Like the music that gets me like hyped and like ready to like go, kill somebody, calms my kids down.
Well, speaking of that, you know what gets me hyped? Geek news. And since I don't want to do talking tonight, I'm going to hand the geek news duties over to Pepperoni.
Yeah, dude, I kind of
Joe Doolin says my grandmother used to rub whiskey on my gums when I'd have a toothache. And you probably had a toothache like an hour ago, Joe? Hartman says lucky.
Whiskey on the gums.
Yeah, that's an old remedy, dude.
All right, so our first headline of the night is bunch of corporations being little bitches. So do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
You're running the show tonight. So
all right. Various internet service providers, including Comcast, Verizon, and AT&T, are being sued for failing to prevent movie piracy online. Per The Hollywood Reporter, various copyright lawsuits have been filed throughout the month of September 2022, accusing the companies of ignoring blatant piracy on the part of their customers. The most recent of these filings at the time of writing came September 13th in Pennsylvania federal court. The suit was filed by Voltage Pictures, After Productions, Ammo Entertainment, and several other studios. What movies did the three of these studios make that people are pirating? That's what I want to know.
I have never heard of these studios.
I haven't heard of any of them either.
But they might be like involved on a big project and we just don't realize it.
Yeah, I don't know. The headline for this said Disney, Warner Brothers, and stuff, but this little tidbit says 3 studios I've never heard of before in my life. That's
film
hence
studios
the picture of Donald Duck.
They're suing Verizon, Comcast, and AT&T for not basically not punishing people for torrenting or pirating movies. Listen, we live in 2022. We live in the internet age. All right. We live in a time where they put Thursday Night Football on Amazon Prime TV, but still make you watch commercials.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, I wasn't as pissed about that one as I am when I watch Paramount and it makes me sit through 2 ads before I can watch my show. And I fucking pay them.
Where all of a sudden on YouTube, you can't watch 5 minutes of a YouTube video without getting 1,000 commercials.
I think the Amazon Prime thing is because the NFL A has sponsors and B they have so many timeouts and like all these sorts of things in football that they have to play something.
Yeah, I didn't mind, but did you notice? I felt like at least 25-30% of the ads were for Amazon Prime.
And they were cringeworthy and shitty. But back to the topic at hand here. Why is it the internet provider's fault that your movie's being put out there and pirated? Like,
Because they
It's
want you
really
to take
not.
away. They want them to take away the internet from you, essentially.
Well,
Oh, you downloaded a movie, so we're gonna kick you off our service.
meh.
Can you really do that? Like, is
No.
that
I
even?
mean, haven't you been threatened with that kind of stuff before, Lance? That like they'll shut off your service?
Yeah, but they never have.
Yeah.
And basically, it's more like we'll shut off your service until you delete these things, and then you say, "Oh, I deleted them," but you still got them on your computer.
And it goes back to like the fucking Metallica and Napster shit and Lars Ulrich and
Blink-182
all
was part of that.
You know, suing people for downloading music on Napster, and like look at all the backlash that caused them. And these companies aren't gonna. You'd have to go after each individual person doing this, and they're not going to do that because it would cause a shitstorm of terrible publicity for them. So they're going to go after AT&T, Comcast, Verizon, anybody, basically any internet provider. But
maybe they're just hoping they'll settle and then get some quick money.
I mean, the internet is pretty much fair game, man. You do what you want to do on the internet. I mean, you're going to be responsible for it, but what are they going to? Yeah, what are they going to do? IP ban you? Like,
if you are an idiot downloading movies and you haven't downloaded any sort of VPN, you deserve to get your ass reamed. Like, why are you not using a VPN?
I just don't torrent anymore. It's 2022. Like, what do you need to torrent anymore?
There's some things that I grab, like, but most of it's coming on these streaming services right away. It's these cheap bastards that don't want to pay for HBO Max and stuff. But like, there's some things like old TV shows that I can't find anywhere that I'll grab. Like, for instance, I really love the old Animorphs TV show that's on Nickelodeon, and it's nowhere. Or
you want to know?
Versus Pete.
Well, I'll give you one that's a bunch of bull crap. AMC Plus. Got a subscription to that. Went to watch Better Call Saul. Only the last like 6 episodes were on it. I hadn't watched any of the season. Why in the world is the entire season not on their premium service? So yeah, I get why people would go and pirate at that point. They're like, I have a subscription to your service, and you're not even providing the show.
Yeah, I had to download Better Call Saul.
Let me give you a tip, Hartman. When your internet goes down and you can't watch porn, watch it on your cell phone. You got data on your cell phone. You can watch porn there too. You know, Pornhub is an equal opportunity spanker. Like they aren't gonna fucking like shame you because you're spanking on your phone versus spanking on the internet, like, or on your computer or laptop. Like, it's very stupid and whatever. Nothing will ever come to it. They'll just pay their fine and away they go. Like, these companies leak shit on their own. Like, what do you want? Like, Marvel leaks all their shit ahead of time and then acts like, oh, well, we didn't do that, and scrubs it. And like a bunch of Call of Duty leak. If you're a Call of Duty fan, a bunch of leaks for Call of Duty 2, Modern Warfare 2 came out over the week, and then they did their Call of Duty Next presentation yesterday, and they were joking about it. And at one point, the woman was like, "Oh, it's nice to see this map not on Twitter." And so, you know, it's just like, what are you gonna do? You leave yourself open to it. Like, we went and saw Clerks 3 on Tuesday, and there's an after the credit scene, Kevin Smith's talking about making the movie, and he says that when Lionsgate put together his like pre-screenings for people, they did it out of, you know, with people in-house to do the pre-screening. So therefore you're eliminating leaks. So whenever you want to pre-screen something, there's going to be leaks, and there's nothing you can do about it. So going out there and trying to sue companies to stop people from doing it, I really don't know how far you're going to get. Like, they're going to slap on the wrist, pay their fine, and it's not going to change.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's just stupid. But again, if you think you're smart enough to download a torrent, I think I buy my VPN like 50 gigabytes a month for like $2 a month is what I pay. $2 for 50 gigs. You know how often I go through that 50 gigs? Rarely. It's just stupid. But you're right. What are they going to do?
I've been given this lifestyle that I'm not willing to give up.
So let me ask you, like, if you, like, say you're a child porno, like you download child pornography.
All right? Okay.
No, but let me ask you. Say you download child pornography.
Nope.
Is it the studio's the studio that needs to go do something to you, or is it the police that need to go do something?
The police.
You know what I'm saying? Is it the studios, or not the studio, the internet service provider's responsibility to
report it? Yes, because it's highly illegal.
Yes, which they are reporting it, but the cops are not going to go arrest every single person that's downloading a movie. It's just not possible.
Yeah, they're not going to prioritize. They're not going to be like, oh man, this guy downloaded Spider-Man No Way Home webcam.
Right, Joe's doing. Who'll never be monetized now. Exactly.
No, but anything, like, say you're like, there's a thing called the black web.
Who's on the list?
There's a thing called the black web where people are buying like stolen guns and shit like that. Like, I don't know how they do
on the dark web.
Yeah, dark web. That's what.
How do I even get to that? Is it dark web /
It's a specific web browser you have to download that gives you access to it.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
I'm not interested in that.
You sure I can buy you a new kidney, right? Pretty pretty cheap, man.
Can you buy me? You know, I could use one.
They can't even prove like the.
Can you get me a pancreas that will excrete insulin?
Yeah, you could probably get that on the dark web.
But you have these people like that. Sex trafficking is a huge thing now, and they're not even able to catch these people.
What are you doing tonight?
What am I?
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great night. We'll see you guys next time.
He's talking bad about it.
Yeah, what am I saying?
But he's just like child porn, sex trafficking.
But they can't even catch these people, is what I'm saying. Like, these things are huge issues in society right now, and they have a hard time even catching these people. And you think they're going to put any resources into catching somebody that downloaded a movie? That's all I'm trying to say.
No, like, so it's such a petty crime, dude. It's not even worth it's not even worth the money and resources that would go into it. Like, cybersecurity teams are there to catch predators and catch, online sexual predators and criminals, like things like that. They're not really there to bust you for downloading a movie. You might get a cease and desist. Like, I was living in a house with a bunch of friends, and one of the dudes was downloading a shit ton of music. He'd probably downloaded like 350 gigs of music in 2 days, and we got a cease and desist letter from Cox. That's it. Like, they're not gonna really come after us,
Right.
It's a slap on the wrist, like, oh, you better stop it, or saying the way you're going about this is pretty apparent. So maybe you need to do a better job of hiding your tracks when you're downloading music. But it's not like they're gonna be like, we're gonna get a lawsuit on you. Yada 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 yada. No.
Well, and if you really want to tackle the issue, you got to go after the people distributing it, not the people downloading it.
Right.
Like, if you want to stop the issue, you go after the people distributing it. Like, stop it from the source. There's probably like 13-year-old kids downloading a movie from Pirate Bay. What are you gonna do?
Hartman says feds have joined the chat.
I didn't say anything wrong.
I'm waiting for Hartman to come in with like a fucking FBI account or something.
I was trying to minimize how little of a deal this is. Do you know what I mean? Like, when there's so many other things.
Your point was effectively made, I'd say.
Yeah, I would say so too.
All right, let's get into the next slide here. So, per Variety, as announced, but an untitled project from Marvel Studios has been pushed from its initial release date on February 16th, 2024 to September 6th. Which of Marvel's announced projects this has? I copied this from this site. Yeah. This has not been revealed.
Basically, it's a movie that was announced but wasn't revealed what it is. So it's like saying
but I'm
they
not
were
an
saying
idiot,
that
right?
something's coming out this day.
Wrong.
No, yes, you're not.
The punctuation isn't great.
But
the unnamed Marvel project was originally set to premiere between the release of Blade on November 3rd and Captain America: New World Order on May 3rd. However, the film's new release date of September 6th now places it between Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. Thunderbolts, the cast for which was officially announced during the recent D23 Expo, is scheduled to hit theaters on July 26, 2024. Do you think it's Deadpool?
How is Deadpool not in Thunderbolts? Like, how would they just not announce that he's going to be in Thunderbolts? I feel like that's like the perfect.
I feel like it's going to be an end credit stinger.
That's like low hanging fruit right there for Deadpool to be part of the Thunderbolts.
Don't you like, if he's not in the movie, it's going to be that seems like the most perfect place to introduce him. Like, it's going to be an end credit stinger, I would assume. And if they're moving this unnamed movie after Thunderbolts, it would make sense if Deadpool was the end credit stinger for Thunderbolts.
No, it says it's between Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. You would want him in Thunderbolts. I don't know. I guess if you're gonna do a Thunderbolts 2, but I just feel like he'd be like he's already a mercenary. He'd be the perfect choice to show up in Thunderbolts. And I feel like Marvel, it's a missed opportunity for them unless they're just not announcing him yet because his movie hasn't come out yet. So I honestly think he's gonna have a movie before all this even comes out.
It's possible. I'm just saying that why would they announce a movie's coming out so soon? Like, this is in the next 2 years. Why would they announce a movie and not tell us the title?
Well, yeah, but like, and I don't think Deadpool makes it that 2 years because you already have Ryan Reynolds working out and sharing pictures, basically saying that it's in the works. So it's going to take 2 years to make Deadpool when they're shooting movies and getting it all done in a little less than a year.
Well, I know it's going through extensive rewrites right now because they hired the 2 people from, I think, Bob's Burgers and the Great White North. But that now they have the original writer for the first 2 movies coming in and rewriting their script. So I think it's going through some production stuff. But I'm just saying, like, out of everything, like, it just seems weird that they would announce a movie and not tell us the title. Well, I think it's anything other than Deadpool.
Well, didn't they? There were several things that they announced without dates. I think it's
but nothing as soon as this.
I don't remember everything they've announced.
I think you mean there was a lot of dates announced without movies or productions attached to them.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So they're trying to continue drumming up hype throughout time.
It's power pack,
which makes sense. They don't want to be revealing 3 years ahead of time every single movie, every release date, when they can instead drizzle that out and get more marketing. At least that's kind of how I look at it. It could be Deadpool, though. I mean, at this point, I have no idea because I'm surprised they haven't already capitalized on this since he already had 2 movies. But they're probably going to reboot him just like they did with everything else.
He's the one character that I think that, like, people that don't typically watch Marvel movies, like the one Marvel character for the people that don't typically go watch Marvel movies, go and see this movie. Do you know what I mean? Like, it feels like, because this movie did so much more than the X-Men movies, right? So a lot more people saw these than saw the X-Men, the last few X-Men movies. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you. I thought the X-Men movies were pretty popular.
Well, I'm just talking about the last, like, Apocalypse on. Like, when Deadpool 2 came out, Deadpool 2 had a lot more butts in the seats than everything after Apocalypse. Right?
I think there's so much they could do with Deadpool because you could introduce him in the multiverse stuff. He would fit perfectly. You could introduce the rest of the X-Men through him. It would make sense. Like, it's just like there's just so many win-wins here with Deadpool that I don't know. I think what's taking so long to get X-Men is definitely the contract situation where they have to keep, they can't recast those roles for X amount of time. But
there's certain ones that nobody's played, like Wolverine. I thought for sure we were going to get some Taron Egerton stuff at D23.
Well, I think that they're waiting for that, but I also think that they had this giant roadmap set up to a certain point, and and they do a great job of setting it up through, after credit scenes and mid credit scenes and whatnot, that they have to get to a certain point where they can introduce them. Then they're not just going to throw them in there and mess up their overarching narrative. So I just think that it makes sense what they're doing, but I think Deadpool, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if more movies squeak in before Secret Wars. You could even have Deadpool will show up in Secret Wars. Like, I would assume they sneak him in before.
That's what's so surprising is I would assume Secret Wars we would be seeing a lot more characters before then, like X-Men characters and Deadpool and stuff like. Because
Well, you probably will, because Secret Wars is still a couple years down the line, but it doesn't mean they have to have their own movie. Marvel loves throwing characters and cameos before they even have their own movies. So it's like maybe Deadpool cameos in something before we see him in his own movie, or maybe the X-Men cameo or show up in Secret Wars before they have their own movie. Like, it's just, yeah.
I would say it's likely if Deadpool comes out as soon as we're thinking that we're going to see some X-Men and Deadpool.
Like Joe Doolin saying, no reason to tease an X actor now when the movie is years off.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Be interesting to see what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Next, we've got some Ted Lasso news. The behind-the-scenes account of Ted Lasso's protracted production cycle comes via reliable industry news outlet Puck. It alleges that star and series co-creator Jason Sudeikis pushed for the third season scripts to be rewritten and then insisted on additional changes, including adjustments to certain character arcs, once filming commenced. Puck's report also claims that the shoot was further disrupted when Chelsea Football Club's home ground, Stamford Bridge, became temporarily unavailable after the club's owner, Roman Abramovich, was forced to sell it after Russia invaded Ukraine. I was thinking it's been a while since season 2 came out, hasn't it?
Almost a year.
Yeah, it's been about a year. I was just thinking, I'm like, oh, they've got to be having season 3 come out soon, right? And I guess this delays that whole process, and that sucks.
Well, I mean, listen, this show is so good and so beloved by so many people, and it just
won more
won
Emmys.
so many awards. Yeah, so many Emmys that I know the creator said they originally wanted to just do 3 seasons. And I think you were going to see them get you're going to see them get demoted, promoted, and they already kind of foreshadowed it because Ted Lasso asked, "Has anybody ever come back and won the whole damn thing?" So I think you're gonna, like I said, you got some get demoted. Season 2, they got promoted. Season 3, you're gonna see them win the whole damn thing.
Oh, definitely.
So
and that
I just think
douchebag assistant coach is gonna get what's coming to him.
Nate,
F that
fuck
guy.
that guy.
But
hey,
I honestly hope he gets a redemption arc, but I'm just so mad.
Yeah, he was like one of my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And then he broke bad.
Yeah.
Hey, if you guys like this show, you should watch. I think it's called Road to Wrexham or We Are Wrexham or something.
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds, I've been watching it.
And Rob McElhenney.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like a real life version of Ted Lasso. It feels like.
I mean, not really. It's
like the demoted and trying to get promoted,
buying,
and then the 2 Americans coming in, and like it's
but
happening.
It's more so
in real
about
life
the owners in the town the team is in.
Than the coach
versus the coach, yeah.
But that's a great show, man. And they release 2 episodes every week, and I'm hooked, man. Have you watched that one, Max?
No, but the comments are cracking me up. Joe Doolin, that name was butchered more than Carl Urban and the Boys.
Yeah, he's telling you how to pronounce it.
Abramovich,
probably. I don't know.
But
I don't know, dude. I love this show. I literally, so like Lance had me in his Apple family until this week when he kicked me out because he doesn't love me anymore.
No, I had to I bought another iPad for one of my kids, and I had to kick him out to add him.
No, I get it. There's no more space. So I was like, frick. Well, I want Apple TV Plus still, and so I just signed up for Apple TV so I could watch Ted Lasso. And I'm like, why did I sign up when Ted Lasso isn't even announced with the release date yet? But it's just funny that this news comes like 3 days after I, did my own subscription to Apple TV Plus so that I can make sure I get to watch this show.
Hey man, this is a show that always requires you to watch.
There are.
I rewatched it. Aaron and I will rewatch this show every couple of months.
This is one of the few shows I actually watch with my wife. Like, it's hard. She only likes comedies, and this is a comedy, and it's got a lot of heart. And we don't get a lot of time together to watch TV to begin with. So this is one I really want to come back soon because it's something I share with her.
I tried to watch it with Anna because I thought she would enjoy it. The minute she saw it was something about sports, she's like, "F this show." She doesn't even give it a chance.
You need to tell her
there's sports in it, but doesn't she realize this show is so incredible They have a CGI'd Roy Kent, and no one even knows that it's CGI. You guys heard that conspiracy theory?
Yes.
Dude, it like the only
His
sports movie
CGI looks
she's
better than the actor looked as Hercules.
The only sports related like movie or TV show she's ever liked was Remember the Titans. That's it. Everything else is hot garbage to her.
Get her to watch the League.
The League's a great show. But I thought she'd be really into Friday Night Lights because it's kind of drama. You know, I love that show, and she wasn't into it. Ish left, apparently.
Has he even said anything since he came on?
No, I think he's having internet issues.
He said my internet keeps freezing.
Oh, okay.
All right. So next we got some Squid Game news. Dong Hyuk spoke during a Netflix hosted press conference following the streaming series' success at the Emmy Awards and was asked whether there were any plans to cast a big-time Western performer in the next installment. There will be no known Hollywood actor in season 2, Dong Hyuk said. That's not in the plan. If the stage changes, maybe in season 3, but for season 2, it is still set in Korea. Leonardo DiCaprio did say he's a big fan of Squid Game, so maybe if time or chances allow, we can ask him to join the games.
Dude, I think he should. He should show up as like one of the like rich fat cats.
Yeah, man. That's what
I
was
haven't watched the show, so I don't know. But isn't it all in a different language?
It's in Korean,
except for the rich fat cats.
Yeah, and you can watch it dubbed.
Oh, there is people that speak different languages in the show.
That's mostly in Korean, but there are a few American characters who, when they speak in English.
Oh, interesting.
You should
but
watch
it's
the
very
show, man.
It's not
I will.
common. It's like one episode for a minute or two, but
well, I was just thinking, would he have to learn Korean? Because I thought the whole show was in Korean.
No, I don't think so. I think he could probably play one of those.
You really think Netflix would make a US version? I mean, they're getting in a ton of money on this.
Yeah.
Why would they remake it?
I don't want them to. I love what we're getting. Keep it up.
My neck.
You really need to check this show out, dude. It's the hype has died down, obviously.
Agreed, Joseph and Joe's dueling. Keep it Korean. Americanizing the show will destroy it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
I think some of their culture is what makes it so good. You bring it to the U.S. and it's just gonna, I don't know. I think our culture would do poorly with the show. I can only
think of like one thing that was ever more successful. Bringing
The Office.
The Office.
Yeah.
Because the UK Office, I think, only lasted 2 seasons, or they call them series over there,
something like that. But yeah, it was like it was a very cult classic kind of thing. But yeah,
I feel like very few shows in the UK get more than 3 seasons. Like I think In-Betweeners was 3 seasons and 2 movies, and
Sherlock was 4.
That was
wasn't
a
it?
Massive show.
Yeah, that show's crazy because it was like 3 episodes every season.
I know, like
Sherlock
was just long. Yeah, sure.
Doctor Who gets a lot of episodes over there, but I feel like all the best shows only end up getting 3 seasons.
I like that. If they're like, okay, I wish that they would do more of, hey, we're gonna buy this show and we're giving you a guaranteed 3 seasons, and you can start, middle, and finish it like a movie, right? Give it a beginning, middle, and end. But it really pisses me off when you get into a show and they cancel it, like Paper Girls, right? It pisses me off to no end. But Luther was 3. I haven't watched Luther either.
Well, or if there's more seasons, it shits the bed after like season 3. Like Misfits, in my opinion, that show was great, but shit the bed after season 2. So it just, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, Joe's doing said American remakes always dumbed down for us slops. It's because we're prudes, dude. The United States is nothing but giant prudes. Like we view sexuality completely different than they do in most parts of the world. Huh? And cursing, yes.
And cursing. I mean, in Australia and Britain, they say the F word like it's the word and.
Yeah. Like cunt is a fucking word that's just thrown around in other countries, and in us it's like, oh, what did you say? It's blasphemy. Like
it pisses me off to no end how ridiculous people get over cursing. Like it's words. And when you say instead of fuck, you say frick, you're saying the same thing. I don't care what anybody says. Like you're saying the same thing.
You're
like,
wrong, but I love you, buddy. They're
how am
different.
I wrong?
They're
No,
different.
they're not.
They're different because of culture. Whether that's right or not can be debated.
But you
they
mean
are
the same
different.
sentiment?
Yes, you do. But because of culture and how society views the words, it is different.
But that may be the case. But you are saying the same thing.
Yes.
Yeah, you're saying the same thing. That's all I said.
The sentence has the same meaning, but
Cultural subtext or not, Sam, this country's a bunch of fucking prudes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really is.
Yeah, because I don't think anything in Squid Game.
Cultural subtext is what you're talking about, Matt. So I don't understand what Sam's talking about. Our cultural subtext is the fact that we're a bunch of prudes.
Well, yeah, but I think Sam's referring to other things in Squid Game, but like there's nothing in Squid Game that like wouldn't necessarily be in a US show. There's not like nudity in it, or I mean it's violent, but it's no more violent than American shows. It's not like there's a ton of swearing. I think there's just like things that are more unique to the Korean culture that I probably didn't even pick up on because I'm an American who doesn't get it.
Yeah. I think that
you dumb American pig.
I think that it's starting to move away from that though, because with these streaming, like more people are cord cutting these network broadcasting studios. They're losing, everything's going to streaming now where they can do whatever they want. HBO has hit after hit after hit. I think it's changing I work in a pretty professional setting, and the senior representative of my company in my state, I hear her say the F word at least, 3 times in every conversation that I talk to her.
It's funny. My previous company, the senior management was always swearing, but now in my current, I feel like no one ever does.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
But yet we'll show the most violent. Like I want to speak to Hartman's point. Where he said, we love our murder. Where did that go? There it is. Eric said it.
Oh, I got what you're saying, Sam. I get what you're saying. I get you.
Yeah,
Sam
the idea that
here's an example. If someone's crossing their fingers, you instantly understand what that means without explanation. Squid Games is full of stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that happens in the show that I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea.
But like we get so crazy about violence and stuff on TV, but yet have you watched the news? Like the news is more violent. Like the stuff they're talking about is more violent than any TV
fake
show
news.
I watch on
fake propaganda
on broadcast television.
It's fake propaganda.
I just think it's dumb, man. I think it's dumb. Like for instance, like you got these people that won't take their kids to see Lightyear because there's a same-sex kiss in it. And I'm like, are you going to let your children out in public? Because guaranteed, just walking through the mall, they're going to see that. Guaranteed, they're going to come into contact with it at some point in their life. Why are you sheltering them so much?
It's because it's the old adage, if you give anybody a reason to be angry about something, they'll take it. So who cares?
That's true.
Moving on.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I forgot I was controlling it. All right. Per Deadline, a sequel to the 2005 film will be penned by Akiva Goldsman, who will also produce alongside Bad Robots' J.J. Abrams and Hannah Minghella. A Constantine reboot series has been in the works from Abrams for some time now, but it seems Reeves' return to superstardom and fan admiration for the cult classic was enough to convince WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, to move forward with a film sequel instead. Keep Abrams the fuck away from this.
Why?
Does anybody agree with me?
Yes.
I think that this doesn't even need to be made. Like, Warner Discovery has no idea what they're fucking doing. They're canceling shit left and right that people actually want to see. Like,
well, I want to see. I've been wanting a Constantine movie for a while.
This movie sucked ass.
I liked this movie, but I don't need a sequel to it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the Matt Ryan show was fucking phenomenal, and it got canceled way too early. Did you guys watch the Matt Ryan show?
Yes.
I thought it was fucking awesome. And it got canceled after like 12 episodes, I think, or something.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one, but I did hear it was great. And then, of course,
Shia LaBeouf was in this, wasn't he? And he's been canceled, so he's not coming back.
Taxi Driver.
Was he? Oh.
But didn't he? Am I mistaken that didn't he die at the end?
Probably.
can't
It's been
remember.
years since I've seen
Doesn't
maybe.
Constantine, or maybe that's a different movie.
I don't. I just know that Warner Brothers Discovery is canceling all this stuff, all these projects, and they're saying, "Oh well," they're basically calling you sheep because they're saying, "Well, we're hurting so bad right now that we could just make another Keanu Reeves Constantine movie, and people will go see. People will throw money at us to see
Yeah,
it."
and this is what I worry about. I love Keanu Reeves, but like the last time they tried to reboot one of his old franchises, it was terrible. Matrix was one of the worst movies I've seen in a long time. I hated that movie. It was awful. And I worry that they're going to try to bring this back and it's just going to be just as bad. John Wick, some of my favorite movies on this planet. They're awesome.
Yeah, but I worry that one's going to be overdone here pretty soon too. I mean, they got a TV show coming out. They're talking about spin-offs, and I'm like, can't you just leave something alone?
Renew Sandman. Like, why? We don't need another Constantine movie with Keanu Reeves. Like,
yeah. I'm with you though, Matt, on the issue of like they're canceling things left and right, and you're going to come and bring this in because it's got a superstar name behind it. It feels like bad timing and in poor taste when fans are upset.
So was
like,
Guillermo del Toro. Joe's doing says Abrams was supposed to do a Justice League Dark, so I guess this is his consolation prize. But so is Guillermo del Toro. So
Guillermo del Toro would have done an awesome Justice League Dark.
Yeah, that probably would have been really good.
And I'm with the Hellboy movie that came out, that was kind of sweet justice because they should have made a sequel to his movies.
Oh fuck, Hartman.
The Men's
Job, but I don't even know.
I think he means Job. He's talking about the Wachowski sisters.
Oh,
in the Matrix.
Oh, I forgot they both transitioned now. No, I just don't understand because I feel like this goes completely against what the guy that's running Discovery said, where he wants this universe to be built and like it sounded like he was against having all these like little one-offs coming off, that he wanted to build like a whole universe in rival Marvel. And now he's doing like, this isn't going to be introduced into their, whatever they're going to call it, DCEU or whatever. This doesn't fit in that. I just don't understand. It just doesn't seem to me like they know what they're doing.
I think it's more like a FOMO. This screams FOMO to me because the last couple years, Keanu Reeves, his name has been connected to Marvel left and right, and they've come out and said we're constantly looking for projects to work Keanu Reeves into and work with him. So I think this is kind of Warner Brothers being like, well, we can beat him to the punch, do a second Constantine, and capitalize on this. So it smells like FOMO to me.
Yeah.
With this announcement.
I think if Keanu Reeves has been saying for years that he wants to do this movie. He said on multiple occasions that this was the one that he has the most regret about, and what I don't understand, it says Reeves returned to superstardom. When did he leave?
He did.
Hasn't he always been
fell
big?
Off for a while.
He did, but since John Wick came back, he's been back.
Yeah, he fell off, and John Wick kind of really like relaunched him.
But he's been big in pretty much every decade since he came out. I mean,
he wasn't the box office draw he used to be. Like,
here's the question, Lance: is he A-list?
But he's making that kind of money. I think now probably more so. I think he's more in the public eye. So like if you put Keanu Reeves on something, but no, Matrix flopped, didn't it?
But that doesn't mean anything. He's just everywhere. He's in the Matrix. He's in the John Wick movies. He's in Cyberpunk 2029, and he's in video games. He's just everywhere right now, and he's been everywhere for the last couple of years, ever since the John Wick movies launched.
I feel like he may have vanished for like maybe 3 years tops. But when did the last Matrix come out? Not this last one. Not this last one.
Oh, before that was like 05, I think.
I think it's been a while.
2003, 2004 maybe.
And then when did John Wick come out?
It was like 2013, 14. There was a good gap where he wasn't a big name. Like after the last Matrix movie, he did quite a few things, but none of them were like big deals.
If he did anything big in the middle.
So like he was
Sorry, when I click off my
He
screen.
did the
thing
last
stops moving.
Ronin, which I liked.
Matrix
but it was
Reloaded
pretty
was
bad.
2003.
Okay, 2003. Yeah, I don't
So
think
then-
anything until John Wick was like a big movie.
After that, he did The Lake House. He did 47 Ronin, which was a fucking flop.
Yes, it
He
was.
did Knock Knock. And then he did
Day to the Earth Stood Still was a flop.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
But if you look at it, I mean, John Wick came out in 2014. And then the last successful movie I would say he had was The Matrix Revolutions in 2003. I mean, that's 10 years that he was kind of vanished. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. was gone for like 2 decades.
Well, Robert Downey Jr. was gone for a different reason.
Yeah.
He was blacklisted because of his drug problems.
And The Lake House didn't flop, did it?
I
I
don't
mean,
know if
I'm
it
not a fan of The
flopped,
Lake
but it's
House.
not like it's not like up there. But I'm just saying, like, he fell off right around the time Matrix Reloaded came out. That was like the last one that he fell off because he went and did The Lake House, and then he did 47 Ronin, and then he did Keanu with Key and Peele, and then he kind of started to come back with John Wick and John Wick Chapter 2, and then his cameo in Toy Story 4 is Duke Kaboom.
Yeah.
And then he oh no, I guess Constantine. You could say the original Constantine's about where he started falling off. And then he kind of came back. So
I'm just saying it wasn't a long
no, well, like I would say 2000 the first John Wick came out in 2014. So 2005 to 2014.
It's a long time.
I have no idea how to
9 years?
categorize Keanu Reeves. I don't know if his name, I know he's not making The Rock money or Kevin Hart.
I was asking if he was A-list, just kind of mess with you a little bit,
troll-ish a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's some people that aren't easy to qualify. I guess he would be because I think that his name draws, but is it his name that draws or is it John Wick that draws?
No,
I think it's
his
both.
name draws.
Because you also get all these stories about how nice of a guy he is. Him standing up on the subway and giving people his seat, or he's just a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I like him. I think he's a shit actor, but I like him.
I don't think he's a terrible actor. He's got a lot of good movies.
He's the same.
He's really
every
good in
movie.
Hardball. No, I don't think so. That's
the only movie that it's ever been different is when he played Bill and Ted, where he plays an absolute idiot. But for the most part, I mean, he's the same guy all the time.
In
Call Me by Your Name, he played himself. That was awesome. That's so
Always
funny.
Be My Maybe.
That's the one.
Oh, that movie is so fucking funny. Always Be My Maybe, right?
Yeah, I got the name of the
Parenthood. Yeah, right.
With
Joe's doing Parenthood.
John Krasinski in it. Isn't John Krasinski in that one?
No.
And what one?
Always Be My Maybe?
Oh yeah, John Krasinski's not in it, but why am I blanking on the guy's name?
Randall
the
Park.
Asian Randall Park, yes. Who?
Gosh, you guys are just
him.
I knew what you were talking about. I couldn't remember the actor's name. Took me a minute.
Well, the problem is he said John Krasinski, so it's not John Krasinski. It's Jim. If you would have said Jim from The Office, I would have got it right away. But since you're using the actor's real name,
but that's not how the meme goes. They constantly say no because they have a picture of Randall Park in the Fantastic Four thing and say, "Oh, look, John Krasinski was in Fantastic Four with Randall Park's picture."
That's someone doing the meme wrong then, because it's Jim from The Office.
You shared it.
Jim from The Office. I don't care if I shared it. It doesn't mean
you sent it to Max and I.
It doesn't mean that the meme is done right.
It happens all the time, dude. That's how the meme's always done.
But regardless,
anytime John Krasinski's something.
You need to come back to do your Star Trek segment.
We'll come back to it. All right, next. Cobra Kai. The Karate Kid universe is expanding beyond its popular sequel series, Cobra Kai. The news came Oh, I thought that said prequel for a minute. The news comes days after season 5 of the Netflix series premiered on September 9th. The upcoming Karate Kid project will be the franchise's first film entry since the 2010 reboot starring Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan. The film, which releases in 2024, currently does not have a synopsis, or casting information, and it's unclear whether it will tie in with the Cobra Kai's established storylines. It should.
I think it will, and I think it'll be like the end. I think they'll end it with a movie.
Do you see the show slowing down though?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I
the
think
show has to end, man. I think they need to end it next season.
But it's so easy just to keep, because like everybody that watches it excuses the fact that, hey, this is a dumb show, but we all love it.
Exactly. It's awful writing. It's bad acting, but it's awesome.
Well, the only loose end that hasn't been tied up yet is that Kreese is out and running around. So,
but they have so many things that they can draw back from. I mean, we still haven't seen. There's been rumors about Hilary Swank coming back in,
which I think she should.
What about
I think she should come.
Jackie Chan?
That's a different universe.
I
would love Jackie Chan. Keep Jaden Smith away. What?
It doesn't have to be a different universe.
Well, it's established in the movie that it's a different universe.
The only one that can truly stop Cobra Kai, and it's fucking Jaden. It's like Doctor Strange's portal.
Oh yeah, I saw.
I
saw that one.
I don't remember anything in the 2010 reboot that
isn't his name the exact same as the main character from Karate Kid.
No,
no, he's not Daniel LaRusso.
It's Dre. He plays a character by the name of Dre.
What's Jackie Chan's name in that
Mr.
movie?
Ho.
It's something about Mr. Miyagi because he's a Chinese character in that.
Mr. Han. Sorry. Not Mr. Ho. Mr. Han.
Well, that movie failed miserably, so I don't think
I actually like it for what it's worth.
I like it for what it's worth, but I also think Jackie Chan's awesome. So if you get Jackie Chan to come in and be in this karate movie, how awesome would that be? Or this karate show? Or maybe he could be in the movie. Shoot, make him the villain. I don't care.
I would love Jackie Chan to come back, but I still think there's plenty of stuff from the actual Karate Kid storyline. Like
how dope would
Karate?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Max.
Well,
or Lance.
We were just talking about Hilary Swank and stuff. There's so many other things that they could kind of touch on that they haven't yet.
Not really, because Hilary Swank's kind of the end of it, man.
No, but isn't there? We've got Terry Silver and we got Kreese. Isn't there like 2 other movies with bad guys that we haven't even touched on? Aside from next movie. Karate Kid,
there was only one other movie, and you got you already had like the big bad from Karate Kid 3, in this season. So
Mike Barnes or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I thought Terry Silver was the big bad in this.
Well, Terry Silver, they both were, because Terry Silver. Mike Barnes was the bad boy of karate, and Terry Silver paid him off to join Cobra Kai to beat LaRusso.
Oh. It's been years.
I don't even think I've seen the 3rd movie, honestly.
I am so appreciative every time Cobra Kai shows a flashback because I don't remember shit.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
I love this show. I want season 6 to come as soon as possible, but they also need to end it because this is a show about high schoolers, and these kids are getting older. So that's
how easy would it be to just all of a sudden say, "Hey, guess what? Cobra Kai's in college now."
Well, unless the movie's gonna follow Johnny's kid. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen the fucking season 5, but follows the kid that he's having with.
So what? It does a time jump.
Carmen.
Set in the future.
Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, I think this goes as long as people are watching it because it's like I feel like it's a really easy show to write for. You don't really have to do much.
No, you don't. Absolutely.
You just have to say you have to have Johnny saying funny things. You have to have Ralph Macchio losing his cool, over something. And then you have to have some threatening bad guy. Like it's probably Dragon Ball Z went on for what, 25 years? Like
it's still going.
Yeah.
Still going.
This can go on. I mean, I see it as the same kind of shit. They're both dumb.
No, you can't compare Karate Kid to Dragon Ball Z.
No, but I'm just saying it's easy to write
blasphemy.
For. Dragon Ball Z.
Sam's probably breaking shit in his house right now.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I loved season. It was 5, right? Season 5. But I'm ready for this show to end. Like, I can't handle too much more of this.
Blasphemy. I want
Sam
more.
just
Well,
powered up and
it's
punched a
just-
hole in his wall.
It's just, it's over
Does
the
Sam
top.
watch Dragon
It's
Ball Z?
really,
Yeah.
really bad drama. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z is awesome, dude.
I don't know if
Yeah,
there's an anime that Sam doesn't watch.
Oh, there's a lot of them. I'm sure he doesn't watch all of them.
I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's.
I've never
all
been
I know
in a
is
Dragon
he's
Ball
like
Z.
a untapped a well of knowledge when it comes to anime. So
Are we getting Ish in now?
Looks like it.
You working, dude? Is it working?
Looks
Apparently
like no.
not.
his internet's
Yeah.
good. He just can't hear us.
Am
So
I on?
You're on.
Yeah. Am I
There.
coming-
All right.
Breaker, am I
Having
coming in?
Been having some internet issues.
I don't know, man. I'll
Bro.
watch the show as long as it's on.
Dude, if we're talking Dragon Ball Z characters, even Krillin could beat everybody in the Cobra Kai list.
That's not what I'm
Shoot.
saying. I'm saying they're both just just simple martial arts. Like it's easy to write for. That's all. The only comparison I was
Yeah.
trying to make.
Yeah. I'm done with the show. I want it to end.
Well,
I'd
that's
like
fine.
them to.
You can be done.
establish an
I'm
ending.
not.
Well, I'll keep watching it. I would just, if it gets bad, I'll stop watching it.
It is bad. It's bad now. It was bad in the first season, but we all
But bad
love
in a good way. When it becomes bad in a bad way.
Max, did you say you haven't seen part 3 of the movie?
I don't think I have. I don't think I've seen the 3rd or 4th movie.
Karate Kid 3
Yeah.
and the 4th.
Yeah,
one's
I mean
the next Karate
that
Kid.
seeing that movie is key to enjoying, especially the last season, and I assume this upcoming season.
But they do a really good job of showing flashbacks. So I feel like you don't miss anything because it's been decades since I've seen those movies. I
rewatch them every couple of years.
Yeah, I couldn't even tell you if I hadn't watched this season. I
I've-
couldn't tell you anything it was about.
I've probably seen Karate Kid 3, but I don't remember it well. Is there a part where like he's in a I've seen it. There's a part where like he and his girlfriend are like stuck in a warehouse or something and getting bullied by a bunch of kids or
He's in the bonsai store, and then Mike Barnes comes in and kicks the shit out of him.
that's
Bad
it.
Boy
I've
Barnes.
seen it. It's just been a long time.
But I don't know.
The Jaden Smith, Jackie Chan one, that movie grinds my gears.
Yeah,
Not only does it not count, it's karate is Japanese and Okinawan, and that's like a Chinese movie. It made no sense.
Well, because they weren't
Mr. Miyagi would have.
weren't they practicing kung
sort
fu?
of Kicks.
yeah.
It should have been the Kung Fu Kid. Not the
They call it
Karate
the
Kid.
Karate Kid, but then I don't think anybody mentions karate in the entirety of that movie.
Yeah, no, that movie does not count. It's not even related. It's a complete aberration.
But if Jackie Chan wanted to come in and play,
It's a fever dream that we all had. It's
That's
a
what I'm saying,
Mandela
man.
effect.
Hey, even
If they
Karate
were
Kid
going-
Part 4 has first appearance of Hilary Swank in a movie.
Was that literally her first movie?
I'm
Yeah.
eBaying that right now.
And she
Where-
kind
where
of,
do I find
you know what? The movie isn't very good, but she kind of kicks ass in that movie. And you can I watched that. I'm like, holy shit! You can see kind of a
Before,
movie
after.
star in the making right there.
I remember when that came out, my dad rented it, and it was he bought it for us like in the bargain bin or something like that, like at the rental place. Like it wasn't even out that long, and he bought it for like $1, the VHS in the bargain bin. People did not like that movie.
Yeah, it was not very popular.
Dude, that might be her first movie role. No, she was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Was she the show or the
Uh-huh.
movie?
the
Well,
movie.
All I'm getting at
I don't know.
is if Jackie Chan, if they wanted to bring him in, they've actually got a pretty good opportunity here because they've got that worldwide tournament of martial arts or whatever.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's leading.
Jackie
up to that.
Chan could come in and be a sensei of one of those.
Nah,
Of
Mr.
a kung
Miyagi
fu group.
was like, oh, Julie-san, I want to see you do crane kick and then show me your boobies.
Okay, so he gets to mimic an Asian accent, but I get in trouble for saying child pornography.
Yeah. You're right. It was in terrible taste. It should not have done it.
That's
I've
funny.
Bro,
been
okay, so
canceled.
Hartman
I'm just
talking
giving you
about
shit, dude.
karate
I've been
midlife
canceled.
experiences. That's so true though about this show. It's like all about these two guys going through a midlife crisis. They're creating a freaking gang war in their neighborhood.
Yeah, with kids.
Yeah, with kids.
No, you're right. I apologize.
One of them
that
gets
was a terrible impression.
I'm just giving you shit, dude. I think it's fine. But I mean, the point that these gang wars get a kid paralyzed for a year. You don't think an adult should have been thrown in jail for that?
Dude, there is so much. Yeah, true. And there is so much in the show that I'm like, bro, if you would just talk to your parents, if you guys would just act like rational adults.
But they're in California, so like the kids are treated like adults there.
Oh, okay.
All right, what's next? Oh, hey, you got to play the video game video. It's video game news time.
Okay. It's a video game.
All right, first on the docket for video game news, the highly anticipated next installment of The Legend of Zelda finally has an official title. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, as Tears of the Kingdom is not only the next game in the series following the near universally beloved Breath of the Wild, but is also that entry's direct sequel. The upcoming title has had fans talking almost nonstop since it was first announced way back in June 2019. And the reveal of the official name has fueled those fires even more. Max, why do you say this is one of the best-selling games ever?
I hated Breath of the Wild. I think it's awful.
People love Breath of the Wild.
Gaga over that shit.
No.
Yeah.
It's universally beloved. It says right there on the internet, Max. Universally beloved.
The near universally. I'm in that near category.
I love the open world sandbox that you get in Breath of the Wild, man. Like that game was a shit ton of fun for me, and I can't wait for this. I think Tears of the Kingdom is a badass name.
It is a cool name, and I honestly might check it out because I do like Zelda games usually. And I love open world games. And honestly, I should give Breath of the Wild another chance. But I tried playing it when we were in the hospital waiting for James to be born. I tried playing it a little bit after he was born, and
do you think any of that has to do with it being on handheld? Because you played it handheld, right?
That might have some to do with it, but I don't. Some of it is. Here's one thing: I hate the weapons breaking. It's a stupid gaming mechanic, and that's actually a fairly universally thing. One like critique that people have about the game is they hate that feature. And then two, I don't like the controls on Nintendo in general. But that's not Nintendo's fault. That's my issue. But it's honestly a big issue because I'm on the screen and they want to freaking no. It's even if I use the Pro controller. I tried the Pro controller. If that's what you're going to suggest,
it's built the same way as the Xbox.
It is, but it's not because they want me to press the equivalent of Y in order to like attack, and I can't change the button scheme. And it honestly screws me up so bad that I can't play the game. Like, no, I either need to attack with the button on the left or the button on the bottom. I can't attack with the button on the top. And them not letting me change it honestly ruined my experience. Like, I can't play the freaking
weird
game.
That they don't let you change the button.
I love weapons breaking, man. That's just realistic stuff. Eventually your blade's gonna dull and shit's gonna break, and like that's just the way it is. I like that level of challenge it adds to the game, man. Well, I love it.
Maxie, if you want to give it another shot, you can come borrow my Switch.
I will borrow somebody's Switch someday, but first I need to replay. I need to replay Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I've only put 100 hours into that one, so I need to do that again. I'm just kidding. I might borrow it from you. I do have a backlog of games though that I need to get through.
Yeah, it's available. Mine sits on the wall collecting dust. So
I will. I haven't seen the trailer for this, to be honest, but
there is no trailer, right?
Oh, they just announced that the game's
No,
coming.
there was a little teaser at Nintendo Direct.
Okay,
so
I'll keep an eye on it, and I don't have a Nintendo console to play it, so I can't really play it anyway. But hey, if it looks interesting and someone's willing to let me borrow their Switch, I might try it.
Yeah, it's here, dude. Just come get it. Literally, it's hanging on my wall behind my TV, and it just collects dust because I got 2 of them. So come get it. All right, next, which is something I'm very excited for. This next piece of news. Per CBR, after months of rumors, reports, and various leaks, it has finally been confirmed that the classic Nintendo 64 shooter, GoldenEye 007, is finally coming back in the form of a new remaster.
This
When
was
the
also
beloved-
announced at Nintendo Direct.
When the beloved James Bond game first launched back in 1997, it quickly set the precedent for what console shooters would become. And while it has since been confined to the platform that it was released on roughly 25 years later, it will finally be returning for new hardware. Nintendo only, I'm assuming, right?
No, it's coming to Xbox.
This is coming. Oh, that makes sense
I-
because Xbox owns Rare,
Yeah,
but
it'll
not
probably come to
PlayStation.
Game
But no
Pass.
PlayStation.
I don't know. I think it's coming to PlayStation. I think it's coming
So far, I've only seen announced for Nintendo and Xbox.
Yeah,
Okay.
Xbox owns Rare, so I don't think it would be coming to PlayStation.
But what I have heard is that the multiplayer is only going to be available on Nintendo.
What?
I've not heard that. I've heard that it's coming to both.
That would be a shame because I pay for Nintendo Online. Like it's like $20 a year, so it costs nothing. But their online interface kind of blows. Like even playing
Fact-checking
Mario Kart
myself.
is difficult.
Nintendo Switch's GoldenEye 007 has exclusive online multiplayer according to Game Rant. GoldenEye online multiplayer feature is exclusive to the Switch version.
I wouldn't be surprised if Xbox gets it, especially if they own Rare. There's
Yeah.
no way they're going to bring that to the Xbox and not have multiplayer, and people are going to just be pissed off about it, and it'll eventually show up there. Because
I hope this
nobody
changes.
wants to play this game for the story mode. They want to play it because of the nostalgia and memories of going to sleepovers at your friend's house and winning the sleepover because your odd job in the facility, laying down proximity mines and smacking people with a gold gun. Or
Yeah,
doing
I'm gonna play
slappers
the
only.
shit out of this game, dude.
I have nostalgia for the story mode, but I definitely agree with you that like playing with friends is what I'd want to do. Like, I totally, I hope that the multiplayer comes on the Xbox or if it comes to PC, whatever. But like,
this is
I
the
would
game that
love to
launched-
get online with my buddies and like get a golden gun and replay on these maps and just have a blast.
I just think that when anybody thinks of this game, they immediately think of the multiplayer.
Yeah,
Yep.
And to come out with this game and not have its most distinguishable feature would just seem a mistake, in my opinion. But
I
we'll
agree
see.
with you.
But they own the game studio, so I don't see why Nintendo would get something.
Contract,
It might come to
something.
exclusive to
Nintendo
them.
exclusively first.
Yeah.
Just like
Maybe. But I mean, like Microsoft got Banjo-Kazooie and all these other games that aren't on Nintendo when they bought Rare. I mean, they had that Rare Replay game come out. They were all exclusively Nintendo prior to that.
Yeah, well, I think Rare owned those IPs, but I don't think they owned GoldenEye because it's like it was always because it's James Bond. Like they
But
licensed it
Nintendo
out.
doesn't own 007.
No, but they might have owned like the rights to the video game version of just this game. I don't know. I don't know contract law. I'm just
We'll just have to
speculating
wait
on
and
what
see.
it could be.
I think GoldenEye has really weird contracts because they came out with Perfect Dark shortly after this. That was essentially the same game,
Yeah,
same
with a
levels.
different skin.
But why was it called Perfect Dark and not like a new GoldenEye? Like that's never made sense to me. They created a game and used basically all the guts from GoldenEye and put it. It was on Nintendo as well, wasn't it? Wasn't Perfect Dark on Nintendo?
Yeah, I think it was on the original Xbox though as well.
Yeah. But I don't understand it.
I think it's one of those games that there wasn't a bunch of like really when you think about it at the height of the N64, what was really out there? The Dreamcast came in towards the end of the N64's life. You had this in the PlayStation.
Was it?
So you weren't in the world of exclusives yet. Like you didn't have multiple video game consoles out there. Like you had PC, the Dreamcast,
Which PC was still like a small nugget compared to what consoles
PlayStation,
were
like
doing.
Xbox the original Xbox wasn't even out yet. Like there wasn't a need for exclusivity back then. So I mean they did try to remake this game and they reskinned it with changing Pierce Brosnan into Daniel Craig, and it didn't do very well.
When did that
Right.
happen?
A few years ago.
Hmm.
But I just think there's no way they're gonna bring it to Xbox and not bring the online to
Hope
one
you're
of the
right.
biggest
So-
online consoles.
PlayStation and Sega Saturn came out 2 years before N64.
Yeah,
Sega Saturn flopped. PlayStation obviously did not.
but I think the Dreamcast came out
Dreamcast came out
towards
in
the end of the
98.
64's life.
Yeah, so the Dreamcast came out in 98. PlayStation 2 came out in 2000, which essentially killed the Dreamcast.
And then
And GameCube
the
came out in
GameCube came
01. But the GameCube kind of flopped too. Well, it sold 21 million units, so I don't know if that's really
I
considered a
love the
flop.
GameCube. I like
Those
that one.
controllers were stupid.
They were dumb, but I loved it.
Yeah, but
Bomberman on that, so much
in
fun.
comparison, PlayStation 2 sold, which I think for the long time, PlayStation 2 was the best-selling console in history.
It
Oh
was.
yeah, absolutely.
155 million, but Wii broke that. The Wii broke that.
The Wii? No, I thought PS2 was the best selling until PS4.
No, the Wii. I remember hearing about the Wii being the best.
No, but this doesn't make sense because I remember reading that, but this is saying 101.63 million. Oh, as of December 31st, 2016. That doesn't make sense to me. Because it was a big news thing that it unseated the PlayStation 2, I thought. Matt, I'm not hallucinating this, right? Like you remember hearing something about that?
Yeah,
But this says there's about a 50 million difference.
Mandela effect, bro.
Maybe it is. I don't know. But by comparison, so GameCube sold 21 million. The 360, which was supposed to be a flop, was it the 360 that was a flop? Or no, the PlayStation 3 was a flop. The 360 outsold the PlayStation 3, right?
See, so the PlayStation 3 was interesting because it started bad. So the PlayStation 3 actually outsold the 360. But
they
started behind
85 million.
Yeah, so we're probably looking at different lists because I still show the PS2 as the best-selling console ever.
Well,
but
the Xbox doesn't sell well overseas.
I was saying that I'm reading that on the thing, but Matt and I both remember it coming out that it unseated that.
But overseas, Microsoft consoles don't sell well. It's Nintendo and PlayStation.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, is this domestic? I wonder if this is domestic. Because it might be the Wii was the best selling worldwide.
Who knows? But
yeah, I don't know. I know I didn't hallucinate that whole thing, but whatever.
I think you did.
No,
Wii might have been the fastest selling console, but
that may be what it was. I know it was something that because the PlayStation 4 says it sold 115.9 million.
Yeah, so here, as of August 2nd of this year, this is on IGN, PS2 sold nearly 160 million, so 159 million. Nintendo DS, 154 million. Game Boy and Game Boy Color, 118 million. PS4, 117 million. Nintendo Switch, 111 million. Wii's not even in the top 5.
I don't know.
The Wii U is one of the worst after Sega Saturn.
Flop. That's why the Switch came out so quickly after. Yeah. Nintendo Wii lifetime sales.
Lifetime sales. Wii, why don't we move on?
Let's do it.
Let's go. All right. So next. Oh, the Star Trek video. Sorry, Matt doesn't know what's coming next.
Can I? I was going to give a little piece of gaming news since it's not on the slides.
Yeah, what's that?
I just wanted to say how excited I am. They got a release date for Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Remake. So this was a game that came out December 13th of this year. So Crisis Core came out originally in 2007. It's about Zack Fair, who was like a character that you wouldn't even necessarily know about in the original Final Fantasy VII unless he did some side content. But he's a huge part of Cloud's life. Well, I guess I shouldn't say you would know about Zack if you played the main story, but not a lot. You would just know that Cloud thought certain events that played out in his life, like he placed himself in Zach's shoes when in reality he didn't experience those. Zach did. Cloud was there but didn't experience them. Anyway, so it tells the story of who Zach Fair is. It's a really cool game. Came out in 2007. Was only on the PSP. They're re-releasing it December 13th. But like they're calling it a remaster, but it's kind of like remade. It looks so much better. I'm here for it. It's my most anticipated game for sure. So.
I'm on IGN right now, and something interesting just popped up. Apparently, and I don't know why
one wants to hear about your weird boner. All right.
No, I don't know why Sony hates their consumers so much, but apparently the PlayStation VR 2 is not going to be backwards compatible.
Yeah, it's not. They're also increasing the price of the PlayStation overseas.
Hartman is screaming right now that they also announced a new Tekken and Street Fighter.
Yeah, I saw Street Fighter 6, but that hasn't mattered for like the last 4 games.
I mean, they're still selling, dude. I'm not into fighting games, so that's not news that's exciting to me.
Are they
the God of War Ragnarok trailer came out?
Oh, yeah, that game looks awesome. I need to play the other God of War.
You do. It is top 5 games ever.
Is that on PlayStation Plus?
It's on the PS Plus collection. Yeah, you've got access to it.
Yeah, I should start playing that.
You absolutely should.
I just bought Cowabunga edition and I regret it. Cowabunga collection.
Matt told you not to.
Well, I realized, like, I thought I would be able to, like, I was trying to, I don't know. It's just a lot of the games that I was already playing. I haven't encountered any glitches. I don't know what glitches everybody's talking about. And Ish just left and it's supposed to be Star Trek time. What were the glitches that he was talking about?
Matt had said it was just the input latency, the online was really laggy. It's hard to get into a match from what I remember.
Yeah, you can't get into a match online for the fighting. The input latency is really bad when you're trying to play the original NES version of Turtles. There'll be times where you're walking through the level and there's so many guys on screen that it just like starts lagging out and you can't really do anything. The screen starts tearing. It's not good.
Isn't that weird? Like, these are supposed to be like supercomputers essentially compared to what the original Nintendo was, and they haven't figured out how to port these games over and then run flawlessly.
When were you Evo champion, Hartman?
Plus fishing games. Oh man, Hartman's fun.
I think he meant fighting games. It was just
he
spell like, yeah. Okay, I was just making sure I was not missing the joke.
Sam says, speaking of gaming, I'm getting really good at solitaire. Nice. Oh, you watch Evo. Yeah, so do I, but I've went to Evo. I've actually participated in Evo. I participated in Evo a few years ago for Dragon Ball Fighters.
I'm just saying, of all the games that come out, like the fighting games are probably not among the best sellers. I mean, Call of Duty, Madden, like all those are the ones that are killing everybody, or these big platformers.
They sell well though, dude. There's a reason they keep selling. You're right. They're not going to be selling as high as Madden, FIFA, Call of Duty, but
no,
there's a huge audience.
Tekken and Street Fighter are massive games in the fighting game community. Like, Hartman's not wrong.
Bigger than Mortal Kombat?
Yes.
Honestly, I think so.
I thought Mortal Kombat 11 like was huge.
In the world of professional fighting, like Tekken is like the game. Tekken and Street Fighter are like the games.
See, I feel like I own one and I don't need to own anymore. You know what I mean? I feel like I bought one and it works on my system and I'm good.
Why?
Yeah, and I'm sure that's a blasphemy to a fighting fan, but like a person who doesn't like shooters could say, I own one Call of Duty game. I have all of them.
I feel that same way.
Yeah, I mean,
I see the Call of Duty thing as a bit different though, because people like everybody goes to the new game, and if you play online, like there's not going to be a lot of players in those old games, right?
It's just like TVs, man, and computers. They make new games because they up the refresh rate, they up the
Well, they rebalance
frame rate
things,
data.
there's new characters.
Yeah, they
there's-
rebalance new fighting systems, new graphics, new everything, man. It's just
new
like
maps. It's and you know, I gave a bad example because if you do play one COD versus another COD, they're going to be similar. But like for me as a gamer, if you were to say, "Yeah, I played Call of Duty, so I know I won't like Halo," I'd be like, that's not the same thing though. They're very different. They play very differently in my mind. But I get where you're coming from, Lance, because I'm not into fighting games. So I'm like, yeah, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, whatever. They're all the same to me. I'm not into it.
But then again, like I get the new Madden every year it comes out. So
why
like,
that game's always shit. They have not changed anything about that game.
because I enjoy Madden. I usually get them on Black Friday
Fuck,
after they've
dude.
been out for a couple months.
I stopped buying Madden because I'd play that shit for like 2 weeks and then never touch it again.
I think I have the last 9. Like I get them every year. Like when around Black Friday when they're like $20 to $30, I'll pick it up. I never pay full price for most games, anyways. Max knows this about me.
Yeah,
But all right, let's
usually
move
wait.
on to a galaxy far, far away and hear what's new in Trek with Ishtavan.
That last whistle gets me every fucking time. And I forgot to switch the slide. I suck. There you go. You want me to read it, Ish, or you want to read it?
No, I can read it.
All right, go
All
for
right,
it, buddy.
So this is per deadline, main series star Sir Patrick Stewart, who has now been playing Captain Jean-Luc Picard for more than 3 decades on TV shows, movies, and video games, will be joined by a number of his former colleagues from TNG, aka The Next Generation, some of whom have had involvement with Picard, and some of whom have yet to be seen on the series. The presentation reunites the main players of the 1987 through 1994 television series and its 4 feature films. The dais includes Jonathan Frakes, LeVar Burton, Gates McFadden, Brent Spiner, Marina Sirtis, Michael Dorn, along with executive producers Alex Kurtman, Rod Roddenberry, and Terry Matalas. So, I mean, this is something we've talked about in the previous episodes, that Picard season 3 is essentially going to be Next Generation season 8, because they're reuniting everyone who's still alive in that timeline. So,
Except
spoiler
Brent
alert,
Spiner,
no
right?
Data.
Because Data died.
Yeah.
Data died.
He died. He not only did he die in the movie Star Trek Nemesis, but like they made sure he was dead at the end of Picard season 1. Like he double died.
Isn't
But
he an
yeah,
android,
other than
though?
that,
Can't they
yeah.
just bring him back like as a different person?
Well, that's what happened at the end of Star Trek Nemesis. He had downloaded, his whole personality and all his memories into a database, and then meanwhile had found like one of the earlier versions of him, so it totally looked like Data, and they called him B4. And supposedly the movie End of Nemesis hinted that maybe B4 had taken on and become the new Data, just taken on all the data, uploaded him. But in Star Trek Picard season 1, they said no. They just said it so you don't see it, that B4 never worked, and he ended up being turned off and disassembled, and Data still kind of existed in this virtual reality. And at the end of that season 1, they literally they pulled the plug, and his data, like the actual data of Data, was destroyed.
Interesting.
If that
I need
makes
to watch
any
that show.
sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes, Sam, I know.
Yeah,
Star
season
Trek
1's really
is
good.
this galaxy. I was just
Skip
using
season 2. It
Star
is
Wars
fucking
joke.
total garbage. But I'm really looking forward to the season 3, which should definitely be, the send off for this crew, because
Well,
Patrick Stewart's
here
not getting any younger.
was it in this one? Oh no, I saw that it was the 3rd and final season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right,
I mean,
you got
we've seen this cast reunited in some form or another. Even in season 1, where they had Riker, Troy, and Data all showed up. but to have also Geordi and Dr. Crusher, that really rounds it out to a true reunion. And I mean, as someone who used to go to the Star Trek convention every year, and I felt like every year they were reuniting because they'd always appear on stage together at some point.
It's money, man.
So they're like they're like a family.
What's the last thing Brent Spiner did?
Like outside of Star Trek?
Yeah, a lot of these guys, that's probably like their main source of income is doing these cons.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Those conventions are definitely like, he's for a while he was at every single convention. But oh my God, he had a series actually. I think it was called something Hell. I can't remember the title. So he's been doing some kind of like low budget series, streaming shows, stuff like that. But he's a hilarious guy.
I read an article a few years ago that like these all these actors and actresses, like they all wanted to be in like DC or Marvel movies or something like that just to get on the con circuit because they make so much money from these con circuits. Like even if it's a small role, if you can get like on the con circuit, you will make bank. But so it doesn't surprise me. All right, do you have anything else Star Trek?
No, that's about it. I mean, we got if Star Trek Lower Decks, I think episode 4 or 5 is I think should have dropped today, and so that's going. That's season 3. That's a lot of fun. I like that show a lot. They also IDW released a Lower Decks comic book this week.
Oh, that's cool.
Obviously, I picked up and I got all the variants. I haven't had a chance to read it, but kind of just skimming through it, it just kind of looks like an episode, but in comic book form. So as long as it's hilarious, and the best part of that show is the deep cuts. Like some of the jokes, like you literally have to have seen like all of Star Trek to get some of the jokes, and so I love that. It's pure. It's pure.
It's
feeding
made for
my
true
my
fans.
nerd. Yes.
All right. Well, thanks for taking us through a trip for the Final Frontier, because I got criticized for my sneaking a Star Wars joke in there when I introduced it by saying a galaxy far, far away. So, whatever. Final Frontier it is. But all right, let's get into reviewing some She-Hulk, huh?
Let's go for it.
Change the slide, Lance.
Lance.
I didn't know
She-Hulk.
when I hit the button if it was going to stop the video. So I was waiting for it to get to the end.
But I was just trying to remind
this episode.
What episode are we on She-Hulk now? 6?
5.
5?
You didn't like it, Ish?
I'm giving it thumbs down.
Yeah, I think I am too. I mean,
I'm sticking with the series because I hope what I'm giving it thumbs down for, I hope it's actually part of the story and there'll be a redemption.
Well, give us a synopsis of the first 5 episodes.
No, the first 5 episodes.
Well, no. Like,
basically,
give us
this whole episode was just her dealing with Titania, who took the copyright on She-Hulk and released a line of products, and now they go to court. A lot of the episode takes place in the court, and as part of her defense that she's She-Hulk and it's her identity, they parade out all the dates from the previous episode, all the dates that didn't work out. And I feel like as a character, like she hit a low point. Like I at one point I was like, I'm feeling sorry for her. And then I'm realizing, this is completely like pathetic. These guys, like the guy that she slept with, that she obviously really liked and approved. And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't date her. And it's just like, oh my God, like this is our hero is literally at like rock bottom. And then the solution for her is to listen to her extremely shallow, superficial friend who says, it's really just about how you look. It's all about looks. You got to dress better. You got to look better. And I think they've
lawyer?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or her BFF. I don't think it's her lawyer. It's like her
assistant or whatever.
Something. Yeah, I think her paralegal.
Literally.
Sam's right. Trademark, not copyright.
Really,
I just felt as a show, She-Hulk's a hero. And we're at a point where every episode she's less and less heroic to the point where she's hit this rock bottom. She's literally almost like Thor. She's crying about her boyfriend now, and it's, I don't know. It felt like it's almost like she incel.
Really, the only part of the only reason for this episode is to make it to where now you know where she gets her costume from, and to drop that Daredevil tease.
I liked the episode last
and I thought the CGI
fun,
hit it was like really bad in this. Like she walked around like Jar Jar when she's walking around outside on the street. It's like Jar Jar Binks 1999 CGI.
It's
the
bad,
arms are all weird and wavy, her hands are weird, her face is weird.
I don't know. I don't understand why it's so, like, I could understand it being a little bad, but it's probably the most egregious that I've seen Marvel do in the show. This episode might be worse than Thor: Love and Thunder, the floating head. Like it was bad, dude. Like there was times when she's sitting there
alone. Damn it.
There's times when she's sitting there, you can tell like when they do the CGI for Hulk, he looks really good. Like when Hulk is on screen, or even when Abomination was on screen, it wasn't that bad. But with her, like, it looks like she's not in the room. Does that make sense? Like it.
Yes. It looks
bad. I don't understand why it's so bad and why Hulk and Abomination look so good. Or when Wong's doing like portals and stuff, like Wong looked good. Even the demons that were flying through when She-Hulk was fighting them, they looked good. But She-Hulk looks bad. And is it a matter of they just can't do women? Because I know women have been hard, like in video games, like getting the hair down and the features and stuff. Like for a long time, like back in the days of PlayStation and stuff, like, and a lot of artists have issues drawing women in general because the features are so different. Is that it? Like, what is it that makes
they have
her
a
so
totally
bad?
separate actress who plays She-Hulk.
It's
almost like
it's
a body
mocap,
double. And it's mocap and a much larger, much larger athletic woman. So
not all the time.
Like, it's not like they're taking this little actress and CGIing her. They're taking someone who's already that body type.
Sam the twerking scene, more jiggle physics.
The twerking scene is the little actress in a mocap suit.
Yeah, they've showed pictures of it.
Is it really?
It's not always the body double.
Okay.
Yeah,
maybe that's the
problem. I don't think the body double does any mocap. I think it's just from like distant shots and stuff that they use the body double.
I don't know. I had heard, and I don't know if this is reliable or not, that to save money they were using like an older version of motion capture for the show, especially because She-Hulk's the main character and she's in it so much. Like,
yeah,
there was going to be a lot of CGI, and so they wanted to use the older and cheaper and easier to do version that doesn't look as good. And so maybe that's why. Like maybe they're using the more robust version of CGI for these Hulk, because Hulk's already got his character model built out from the other movies. They already spent the money on that. Abomination, same thing. They had a movie budget to put him in Shang-Chi. It's like maybe it's some of that. Like they've already got so many assets done to make these characters look good. That's why they look good.
I can see your point, and you may be right. What I would say that it's more damaging to the show to not just take the extra time.
I agree.
And build those things out. Like it's distracting.
It's very distracting. Every time her face makes a weird movement, I'm like, I love video games, but it looks like sometimes a video game cutscene, and I'm like, that's not a good thing. It doesn't look good.
I would say
I thought it was pretty meta when Titania called her Shrek.
That was kind of funny.
That was like that's almost like a joke at the CGI of the show itself.
So I'll say this about the episode. There were some jokes. I cannot remember which one, but there was a joke or two in particular that were really funny. Like I literally laughed out loud. So like there was some decent humor in this. I liked the Avengers crap. I liked some of the funny stuff behind it. Like it was a decent little comedy episode, but it didn't really move the story much. It wasn't really that interesting.
Well, did you guys catch the Easter eggs in the end credit stuff?
Yeah.
When they're in the shoes, you get Doctor Doom and Fantastic Four and X-Men and stuff.
I didn't see Doctor Doom, but I saw,
which makes no sense because that means they're all existent and fully functional in that universe. So it makes no sense that they'd have lines of shoes for them.
Well,
I think it's just a picture, dude.
Right.
I
Well,
think it's just a pic. I think it's just a tease. Like I don't think we.
well,
need
if we're going to
read into
analyze
it.
that picture, what are they telling us, right?
No, I think it's just an Easter
So they
egg.
could have
I
had
mean,
a Batman shoe and make it even funnier.
it's like in the Spider-Man 2, we had a Doctor Strange Easter egg, but they never made that Doctor Strange movie. Do you guys remember in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2, there was a Doctor
Oh
Strange
yeah,
Easter egg?
name was taken. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's just an Easter. It's for fans. Like you have to really dig hard and look deep.
Yeah, because it wasn't really in the
see.
show. It's just in like the storyboard drawing at the end of the show credits.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, can I tell you that what really pissed me off about this episode? Every
No
episode
post-credits?
of every week that got me used to like sitting through all those pictures for the end credits. Can I tell you how pissed I was that there was not one at the end of this episode? Because I would have turned it off as soon as the theme music started playing. That really pissed me off. Don't get me trained to do something and then not do it.
Where
Five
was fast
episodes in.
forward, you clown?
That's what I did. I fast forwarded, and I was like,
So
"Wait,
I'm
a minute, did
hoping,
I fast forward too fast?"
Daredevil, I guess, can kind of show or help She-Hulk become a hero.
Yeah, I think
hopefully.
that's what it's gonna.
Because that's what I that's personally what I want. I want to see out of this show. Ultimately, I want to see her be a hero, do something heroic. I know they said don't expect like Endgame level stuff, but even something just taking on a simple villain, you know.
Can I ask
Instead
you
of
guys
just this, I don't know. We're crying over, you know, boys don't like me, and it's all their fault.
Yeah. I think that a lot of this show is just her coming to the realization of who she is now. Like she's still battling those two sides against each other. Like I think that's kind of how I feel. Like all the things that it said that Ish was saying bothered him don't really bother me as much because I hope that these things are going to lead her into the person that we want her to be, right? Rather than Thor, who was the person we wanted to be.
Which, yeah, and I agree. I hope so. But if they don't, like, this is an egregious way.
I don't think it's going to last because I think people will get pretty sick of this character if she was always down in the dumps, you know, Debbie Downer. I think, I don't know. I think the inclusion of Daredevil and these things are like the end of the season. We're going to see her. We saw a shot in the teaser of her actually in the suit, like doing, like, it looks like she's going to jump into some crime fighting at some point. That I think that the whole show is just developing her to that point. That's kind of what it seems like to me.
Was it the third episode when the wrecking crew tried to take her blood? We still haven't found out who was trying to take her blood, right?
Right.
Yeah. We still have 4 episodes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's still some time to there seems to be a villain somewhere. I think Abomination is going to be coming up again somehow. So there's something going on here. They're just taking their time to build to it.
I think we've kind of seen like I know. She starts out the series like she's high on cloud 9 and whatever. Like she feel like she's gonna win this case, and then like we see like a roller coaster with this character, right? So the first episode, she's like,
she almost goes from like Mary Sue to like Debbie Downer now.
Yeah, I think it's just those two sides trying to find a way to reconcile themselves. I mean, if you look at the Hulk movie with Edward Norton, which I guess is canon now for the most part. I mean, it was always canon, but they never really referred to anything that happened in that movie before this series. Edward Norton kind of goes through the same thing where he's kind of like this little skittish guy. And then when we finally get Mark Ruffalo, he's come to terms with his two sides. You know what I mean?
She has to reconcile her brain, beauty, brawn, and boring personality.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah, every time she's not the Hulk, She-Hulk, I'm like, oh, this isn't that fun.
I would smash.
So you're just like
versions.
that guy. You're
I'd
just like the guy showing out with.
I'd smash her out as Hulk. I'd smash her out as Jen Walters. I don't care. I
But
don't discriminate.
No, she's attractive. I've always thought, ever since Orphan Black, I thought she was attractive. What I'm saying is that the She-Hulk, when she is She-Hulk, she's more likable. She's more funny. she's, you know what I mean? Like she's more witty. And then when she's the human version, I'm just like, oh, I'm not that interested in this. Now, if eventually
Yeah,
they
she's so
reconcile and she
pathetic.
can be the same character all the time, I agree with Ish, but I was just trying to, put a silver lining
Do
on it,
you
I guess.
think that it's a invulnerability complex? Like, when she feels like when she's Jen, she's vulnerable, and everyone can judge her. But as She-Hulk, she knows nothing can hurt her, so she's invulnerable, and so she allows herself to be a little bit more fun and have a little bit more fun, and like hair down,
Yeah,
type
I
of
think
person.
so. I think so because we do
It
see the
almost feels like
differences.
though she doesn't like being Hulk.
She
That
doesn't.
she almost resents
She's still
it
coming to
a lot
terms
of the
with it.
time.
Yeah.
She's still coming to terms with it. But what I was saying is you see, like, that wouldn't be so far-fetched, Matt, what you were saying, because there is definitely a different personality when Bruce Banner is Bruce Banner to when he's Smart Hulk. There's definitely a difference between his demeanor when he's in human form and when he's Smart Hulk, right? Smart Hulk is funnier. Smart Hulk is more more sure of himself, and Bruce Banner still kind of a
More
little
arrogant.
skittish. Yeah, so we do see a personality difference when he's in Hulk form. But wouldn't that be the same with anybody when they're feeling at their most powerful?
Absolutely.
If I walk outside in a complete suit of, like a mechanical Iron Man suit or something, my personality is probably going to be different than if I walked outside just in my chonies.
It's almost like it's the same as like being drunk. It releases that alcohol releases something in you where you just don't care about all of your like imperfections and shit, and you let go, you release your inhibitions, and you let go, and you have a good time. And so that's kind of what I associate her in She-Hulk form is. It's like Jennifer, she knows that Jennifer Walters is looked down on and that nobody really pays attention to her, and she's kind of like the squeaky little mouse, and she's not, she loses her job, she's not getting anywhere, and she's getting handed everything as She-Hulk. Like, she gets fired from her job as Jen, then because of She-Hulk, but then she's given a job to be She-Hulk, and she can't get a date as Jen, but she can as She-Hulk. So it's like that She-Hulk is that confidence boost where she can just be carefree as She-Hulk and know that things are going to break her way, versus when she's Jen and she can't catch a break.
But I can imagine, honestly, like, put yourself in her shoes, like that wouldn't feel great to to realize all of a sudden no one wants me for who I am. They want me for this accident that happened to me. And yes, it's still her. Like,
no,
she
even
is She-Hulk.
when they bring out those guys when they bring the guys out on the trial, even they like the one guy, he didn't like that as She-Hulk, she spoke in the third person. He's like, I found that creepy. So they weren't exactly super thrilled at her Hulk form either, except for the one dude that she actually went to bed with. So I was what are they doing here? Like, even as She-Hulk, she's sitting there in that court getting kind of embarrassed.
And I got to make a correction that we said last week. Lance, that is not Mother's
I
Milk.
realized that. I was going to text you, but it was 2:30 in the morning.
David Otunga.
I was going to say, I was like, I didn't think it was the same guy.
Did he not look like Mother's Milk?
Oh, it was like it was. I didn't catch it last week, but this week when he's in the courtroom, I definitely caught it.
I watched it. It was like 2:30 in the morning, and I almost texted you guys, and I was like, "Oh no, Matt gave me shit for texting him this early last."
Yeah, don't.
I was about to text all caps, not Mother's Milk.
I got a buddy. Listen, I got a buddy who lives in North Carolina, in the 3 hours ahead of us, and he texts at like 4 a.m, and because he's just getting off work, and it's 7 over there. And so he's texting me, and my phone's blowing up, and Aaron gets pissed.
7 at night over there and 3 in the morning here is way more than 3 hours.
7 in the morning there.
I said
4 in the morning.
7 in the morning there, 4 in the morning here.
Oh, he's getting off at 7 in the morning?
His time, yes.
Oh, why? I wouldn't even be
That's 4 in the
texting
morning
anybody
our
at
time.
7 in the morning.
Well, because he's just...
Do not disturb.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I was just trying to follow.
Well, I have started muting him. Well, I don't like putting my phone on Do Not Disturb because if something happens in the middle of the night, I want to be able to get that text message. It's things like that. So
Or
But yeah.
before the show when I was worried you were still napping.
Aaron just text messaged me literally just now and says, "Please thank Lance for not texting us at 2:30 a.m."
Which it wouldn't have mattered because I think Matt said, oh no, that was this morning. You said you were up since 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. No, but I feel I completely get where you're coming from, Matt. The fact that and Max said it too, like it's kind of like how you feel when you're driving down the street like in a Ferrari, and if you're driving down the street in like a hoopty, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have a certain level of confidence when you're driving this really nice car or wearing really nice clothes or something like that. It's more extreme than that, obviously, but we've all kind of felt that feeling, right?
Yeah.
When we're feeling high on top of the world or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I liked the episode, but the CGI, man, I really hope they learn their lesson with this one and don't release things before they're perfect. Like it just frustrates me to no end that a company, one of the biggest companies in the world, Disney, is releasing something that looks like it was made by some guy on YouTube.
An animation company.
Yeah.
An animation company sucks at animation. I've seen guys on TikTok and YouTube that are doing like special effects, like they're doing fireballs out of their hands and stuff and doing flip. Like there's this one kid, I think Disney hired him. He's like doing flips as like Spider-Man and shooting web. Like it's all special effects stuff that looks a million times better than probably the last 4 or 5 properties that Disney has done outside of Spider-Man No Way Home.
It's called Tom Holland.
It's called Tom Holland.
It's his name, Tom Holland.
No, this was a black kid.
What race?
He's dressed as Miles Morales.
Miles Morales.
Miles
Oh,
Molasses.
you guys didn't see this kid that he was all over like on Good Morning America and stuff. Like,
is this the corn kid?
Right?
No. I like corn.
I love him. He's so cute. I have not seen who you're talking about.
Yeah, he's pretty damn good at it. But all I'm trying to say is that I've seen many things on YouTube that look far superior. These clouds and this moving graphic on this poster look far superior to anything we've seen in the television show.
I like corn.
Fun fact: Miles Morales is played by the same voice actor in the video games that have come out recently, as well as the 2017 animated cartoon. I didn't realize that until my son was watching the animated cartoon from 2017, which is pretty good, by the way. And I'm listening to the Miles in the show, and I'm like, that sounds just like the video game character. And I looked it up, and it is the same.
Oh,
actor.
Not the movie. You're talking about a TV show.
There's a TV show from like 2017 and on that's been running. It might be over now. I'm pretty sure it's just called Marvel's Spider-Man, and so that's why I'm saying it's the 2017 one, because it's like the same name as the other shows, you know.
But not Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse.
No, not that one.
Else. Okay,
no, that's someone else. That's someone else. I'm talking that cartoon TV show and the Spider-Man video games and
that's
the
cool.
Spider-Man Miles Morales video game. Yeah, I think it's cool. I think he's great as the voice actor. So yeah, I was pretty happy.
No, that's cool. Well, so you guys aren't abandoning this show?
No, I'm not.
Dude, I'm already 5 episodes in, and I'm just gonna keep chugging along.
It's 30 minutes, and I'll be perfectly honest with you guys. There's really nothing in media right now that like I'm super excited about. There's no new movies coming out until October.
Power, you're a bit geeked about.
Yeah, well, let me finish. So there's no new movies. There's no new video games out. There's not like a new show to binge because I already watched Cobra Kai, and so it's like I've got a 30-minute episode of She-Hulk to watch, and then Rings of Power, which I think is our next topic. I'm loving that, but again, that's only an hour.
Oh no, we took out Rings of Power.
That's okay. I can still talk about it. I don't need to slide.
I'm just kidding.
I know you're kidding. So I will definitely watch this, although Andor is next week.
Speaking of Rings of Power.
Yeah. Dun, dun, dun.
Now you guys go ahead and talk about it, and I will.
Yeah.
The goal, Joel's dueling. The goal should be to watch 24 hours straight of Morbius on Netflix.
Oh,
No. I mean, if I was paid to do it, I could do it,
no.
but it would be tough. It would be tough. I'd have to be paid fairly well. I'd rather work than watch Morbius for 24 straight hours. So, Rings of Power.
I'm
It's a
gonna go.
TV show.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom while you guys are talking about this.
That's fine.
Shit.
I don't care. I'll
The
do this.
Lord of the Rings.
I'm gonna log off before you guys
Mac-
talk about Clerks 3. So it's all good.
Max, have you watched the 1978 version yet?
I have not watched the 1978 version yet. And
Good
I just
Lord.
can't.
We talked
bring
about that like
myself.
12 months ago.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it.
Why not?
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'll get to it. I forgot.
Do yourself a favor.
And watch it.
Yes, animated Lord of the Rings, 1978, 77, 78. I forget what year.
I need to find out
Do
where I can watch it.
Do it. You can't find it on Blu-ray. It's or like unless you want to spend $100.
Well, if it's on streaming, I'd watch it there, but I don't know if it's anywhere.
I think you have to rent it on streaming. Maybe it's at your library or something. You need to get your hands. I was actually going to buy you a Blu-ray and mail it to you. No, I kid you not. I was like, all right, if it's $12-15, hell yeah. But then I saw it was like $100. And, I'm glad I got my copy when I got mine because it's like totally out of print now. But you need to. Anyway,
too bad.
Moving on to Amazon.
I loved this episode. I think it was my favorite episode so far.
I am not caught up, sadly. We tried to catch up.
Oh,
We just couldn't. So I think
man.
I still have to actually finish episode 3, damn it.
Dang, dude, you're really behind.
Yeah.
I look forward to this show so much every week that I watch it Thursday night. Like as soon as it comes out, as soon as it's live, I watch it. Now, not as soon as I probably watched it at like 9:30 last night instead of 9, but I'm watching it as soon as I possibly can. And it's funny. One of my favorite things in the world is to sit in front of a TV or a movie screen with a bowl of popcorn and watch something. I don't.
Max loves socks for Christmas gifts.
I don't understand, but
That's mean. That's really mean.
I don't get it. I think I'm too prude to get that joke. Anyway, where was I going with that comment? That derailed me, man.
That totally derailed us. The socks.
It's all right.
It's all good, dude. I just don't
You
remember
don't
what
you
I was
don't get
saying
the
now.
socks comment?
Is it about masturbating? Is that what it's
No,
about?
you're basically saying that he's basically saying that you're boring. That you
Oh,
like,
geez.
you like
He's
getting
saying you have.
socks
He's
for
saying you have bad taste, which you
Yes,
clearly
exactly.
don't if you like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
come on, Hartman. Rude.
Socks is like the gift you don't want to get because it's the most boring gift.
Yeah,
But it's
Hartman said it
useful.
just means you enjoy simple things
Okay. All right.
like white toast and
White toast is delicious.
watching paint dry.
Watching
Actually, I
paint dry
love
is
white toast.
fascinating.
I don't know about that.
I don't.
Sometimes
I
you do
don't
need
like watching
socks.
paint dry, dude.
When you're old, you're like, socks are not the worst gift.
I don't like getting socks as a gift, but Lance occasionally will get me some cool socks.
are fucking expensive.
I like getting those.
I would make sure you wash them.
I
before
pretty
you stick
much-
your feet into.
When I buy you socks,
You've only done it like one time. You brought me one of those like that brand you like. You got me like a Boba Fett pair of socks.
the $30 socks that I like.
Yeah. Like you got me some cool
Yeah.
socks. Like I enjoyed getting those, but yeah, I'm not super thrilled
You
to
got
get
a Book of
Those-
Boba Fett socks.
to
Those
get like a.
those are things
Book
I
of
know
Boba
you would
Fett
never buy
compression
yourself.
socks.
So
Yeah,
the-
but like you give
Yeah.
me a pack of ankle length black socks for my birthday. I'm not gonna
Like
be
Walmart,
excited about it.
like starter
Yeah.
socks.
Yeah, like I might need them, but I'd rather just buy those on my grocery run.
Dude. My dad drives me nuts. Like one of the best things I love to do is buy people gifts. Like Max knows this about me. I like
Yeah.
buying people gifts, and I like buying things that I know you're not going to buy yourself, but I know that I hope that you'll like. So I take risks when I buy. Like Max's last gift that I got him for his birthday was a clock. It's above his TV, so you can't really show it. But it's a clock that was laser etched out of an old record that has all the Darth Vader and Max, how do you describe that? The clock I bought you, and it has LED behind it.
Yeah,
But,
I'm trying to.
it's an old record that's been cut into the shape of a.
That's
You
hard
can't
to
see it.
from that
It has like
angle.
Darth Vader and stuff, but it's an old record. That's something I know he would never buy himself. Or the $30 Boba Fett
But
sock.
you got me this pop. I don't buy pops, but I like it because it's Star Wars and it's Darth Vader. So that's cool. Yeah, so I really like Rings of Power.
Yes,
I just
we
don't want to
definitely
ruin
need move on
anything.
from stocks here.
I don't want to ruin anything for Ish though, since you haven't watched it. So I'm just going to say this.
Damn it.
Ish, you came on the show knowing we were going to talk about it and you didn't watch it.
Okay, so this is one show I do watch with my wife, and we have our window to do so every night is so small.
Listen,
And
Ish is a
one
busy
of us
man,
just
right?
even like
Dude, I get
starts
it.
to fall asleep. It's dominoes. We're done. So
Dude, I
we
get it.
tried our best. We tried our best yesterday, and it just we couldn't make it.
Yeah, I think Kelsey and I have watched a total of 10 minutes of TV together this week. Like, it's just we don't have time, unfortunately. So I'm with you.
But that's the one thing we wanna watch together because we both love Lord of the Rings, Tolkien so much.
Yeah. So I will give spoiler-free reviews then, because I know Ish enjoys Lord of the Rings content, and I don't want to ruin it for him. I'm just going to say I think the music is fantastic. Obviously, we've already talked about it. The production value is really high, like the visual effects. Like there was a scene at the beginning of this episode that I was like, how is this a TV show? How is this a TV show? It is crazy nice to look at. And I just watched, like, when I'm working and doing like projects, I'll throw on movies I've seen a million times before. So I watched the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy this week while I was working. But when I was done working, I'd keep watching because they're long, and I always watch the extended editions. And so I'm watching those, and those are beautiful movies. And I get it, like they're 20 years old now, but the TV show looks like even better than that, and that's a TV budget. And I know, again, this is 20 years difference in technology, so like there's obviously some
It is not
advantage
a TV
there.
budget. It's
I
the
know.
most expensive TV show ever produced.
Not much
I
has
know.
changed in 20 years because the first Transformers movie still has better special effects than almost every movie that's come since.
Joe's
not-
Doolin's a big Ed fan.
So
Listen to
yes,
Big
you're
Ed.
right. You're right, Lance. This is a movie budget. I'm just saying that's what I'm getting at. Is this is a TV show and it looks absolutely incredible. That's all I'm
I've
trying to
watched
say.
the trailer and I said, and I don't like Lord of the Rings, like in the least. You're never going to get me to like it. I've tried. I don't like it. But I've seen the trailer and I said, this is the most beautiful TV show I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Like it
Like the
looks
orcs.
gorgeous, which
The orcs
makes
are
me,
totally movie level, makeup.
Yeah,
and stuff.
they look
looks-
way better than
It
the
looks-
Hobbit.
it looks
Totally
gorgeous.
movie level.
Yeah,
which makes me even more pissed off every time I watch She-Hulk.
yeah. Well, so
Hire those
anyway,
guys.
so going over like these episodes, so like there's a new character that's introduced in the 4th episode that I have been enjoying some of like the developments there. I like the way they're taking the story. I've got some theories about where things are headed. Now, obviously, some of what's happening is like they're basing it on the Second Age and the historical events that happen there. Like, I don't know, I'll just say this for people that may not know, like the Second Age of Lord of the Rings is like a 3,500 year period or something like that. They're compressing all of these events down into this TV show so that they can all kind of be next to each other. Where in reality, you might have a big event that happens and then it's 500 years in between the next big event. Well, that would be kind of boring to have one season you have these characters and the next season you got these new characters, and like that'd be dumb. So they're putting all the events together in one time, timeline. And so like if you read any lore, and I'm not like a lore expert for Tolkien, like I love the books, I've read the originals, I've read The Hobbit, I love the movies, I've played video games, but like I haven't read the Silmarillion, I haven't read Unfinished Tales. I don't profess to be a professor on this. But if you know like some of the events, Elendil is going to end up being king, and Isildur is going to end up being king, obviously, and like Numenor is going to fall eventually. So it's like they're building towards some of these events that are going to be happening, and I'm finding it really fascinating to see how that's going to occur. And then they're also bringing in new elements that aren't necessarily in all of the materials that have been written by Tolkien, and some people are upset about that. But I'm sorry, there's a lot of stuff in the original movies that also wasn't in Tolkien's books that people don't get that upset about.
Correct, yeah.
Now, I think there are bigger changes in the TV show than like Tolkien did, but like there's supposed to be an army of like 100 Dunedain, people like Aragorn, in the 3rd book. They never show up. The ghosts aren't supposed to fight at Gondor. They do anyway, because it looks really cool for a movie. I get it. You know what I mean? Like there's all these changes. I'm pretty sure Aragorn had the Sword of Elendil the entire book series, or I think he had it from Rivendell on in the first book, but in the movies he doesn't get it until the third movie, like halfway through. So like there's like things that change, and I think that can be fun because that means you don't necessarily know what's going to happen. Matt experiences this all the time. You do Ish all the time as like more avid comic book readers than Lance and I. You read all these comics, you know these storylines, but yet you go into the movie and you're like, something's going to happen that I don't expect still because they don't always keep it the
MCU
same.
does it all the time. Sometimes they just use a name and do it completely differently.
Well,
or
that
take
pisses me off. when they do
mishmash
that.
elements from different comics and roll them into one storyline. Like it's never completely comic accurate. Now, and I was thinking, like, I used to consider myself like a big like Tolkien, Lord of the Rings purist. And so I asked myself, and I see all this angriness online. I'm like, well, why aren't I upset that are the changes? Why doesn't it not bother me? And I realized, you know what? My other crazy big fandom, for instance, is James Bond 007. Those fucking movies are nothing like the books. And the books is like the sacrosanct source, right? But the movies are completely different, and it never, ever bothered anyone. And that became the greatest movie series of all time.
Well,
So
you
I'm
were
like,
pretty
yeah,
pissed off
that's
about the
not a
last
big
one.
deal. Marvel does it. This is doing it. Do we want everything to be exactly like the other thing? No. You can have the movies, you can have the books. Now we have the series, and they're all separate entities that kind of play in the same sandbox. And as long as that sandbox feels like Tolkien, I'm totally okay with it.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Wasn't it one of Tolkien's like things is that he did not want his lore changed? He did not want any
Tolkien changed his own lore all the time. Tolkien couldn't
true.
keep his own lore straight. Like, for instance, the Blue Wizards is a great example. 3 different times he came up with different origin stories or different purposes of the Blue Wizards. And then he wrote, a lot of his stuff is from letters he wrote. In his letters, his son took and made them into canon because he's like, well, he talked about this event in a letter he wrote. That's now part of the lore. And then those letters totally contradicted other stuff that was in the book. So even Tolkien couldn't keep his lore straight.
Yeah, and like so here's a thing I'll say about the show, that not that this makes it perfect, because Wheel of Time I think sucks, and Brandon Sanderson and Robert Jordan's wife, because Robert Jordan, the original author, he died, but his wife, who helped edit his books, and then Brandon Sanderson, who wrote the last 3, they are involved in the Amazon TV show, and they like give it their stamp of approval and thumbs up. I think that show's pretty bad, and it's a horrible adaptation of those books, but. So the point I'm about to make doesn't necessarily hold weight. But one of the things is the Tolkien estate has been more involved with this one, as I understand it, and they're giving it more of their blessing than they did the movies. I guess Christopher Tolkien actually thinks that the movies are awful. And I think last week we talked about how Peter Jackson had offered to come consult on the show, and they turned him down.
They didn't even call him.
And I was like, oh, that's awful. Why wouldn't you let Peter Jackson come on? I guess it's because Christopher Tolkien himself said no. Christopher Tolkien didn't want him to. Now, I don't know that that's the right call, because I love the movies, and like I would have loved to have seen Peter Jackson's input here. But if you're talking about like the lore,
so they're not allowed to use anything from the movies, because that's Warner Brothers. So even like we see these posters here, the sword of Elendil is different in this show than it is in the movies in Viggo Mortensen's hands. They can't even use the same look of the sword.
Oh, can they not? Is it that strict?
No. Yeah, they can't use anything from the movies as far as design. That's something that's unique to the movies. And for instance, like the sword hilts.
Yeah,
there's got to be some degree of flexibility there, because it looks like the movies in a lot of ways still. It looks like the world of Middle Earth.
They probably just excuse it. It's like what's something that the King Kong?
Well, they're just showing that there's different ways to depict Middle Earth. You don't have to use the exact same way that Peter Jackson did. As long as it has this kind of mystical medieval feel to it.
Well, like I don't know if you've seen the shot yet. In episode 3, it's in episode 4 a lot. There's a shot of the city of Numenor, and it looks a lot like Gondor.
Yeah, I've seen the part where she has the premonition dream of the wave.
Well, there's that. Yeah, there's that too. Arwen, be quiet. There's that too, but like just in general, when you see like the city, a lot of the architecture and the way it's built looks a lot like Gondor, which makes a lot of sense because Gondor is built by Númenóreans. Like my understanding is it's like Elendil and Isildur, and then they migrate over and they end up building Gondor, and that's how they become the kings. And I might be a little wrong on that because I think Elendil is actually king of Númenor at one point, whereas Isildur never is. He's only king of Gondor, and I could be wrong on that.
Isildur is the prince.
Yeah. So, and at this point in the TV show, neither of them are royalty. So that's like the other thing is like, how is Elendil going to end up becoming a king and take over, and start his reign and things of that nature. In the latest episode, we get a bit more from Durin and we get more from Elrond, because I don't think in episode 3 they're in it at all. So I really enjoyed seeing more from them. I love the dwarves in this. I love how they're portrayed. Love the actor who's playing Durin. And you get to see
Durin's
Durin Jr. I think the king is Durin as well. But you get to see the king of the dwarves, and he's pretty good.
That would be Durin the third.
Yeah, so I was thinking. I'm like, I think they're both Durin.
See, and that's another change in the show because Durin 3 and Durin 4 are not father-son or even grandfather-grandson. There's like a kind of a big gap between them. So it's just like a name they adopted, like, kings just pick a name. But here in the show, they've clearly condensed it and made it father and son.
Yeah, again, for that like reality of hundreds and hundreds of years between these events, whereas like the elves can survive all of that time, but that's not how Dwarven and even Númenóreans, like the Númenóreans, I think could live hundreds of years, but not thousands of thousands.
Yeah, because Aragorn lives to the age of like 280 or something.
Yeah, before he dies. And that was like a short-lived life because he had mixed bloodlines by the time he was even alive. And pretty sure like Elendil and stuff, I don't know if Elendil lived to 900, but they lived pretty old.
Coach Lou Hulch and note.
Well, it's cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's cool. I'm just saying it's cool lore because the Númenóreans are like not like their reflexes and eyesight and stuff aren't as good as the elves, but like they're superhumans, and that's what makes them so unique and interesting. And that's why I was upset when there wasn't like the 80 to 100 Dunedain in Return of the King. Because I'm like, dude, you're gonna have 100 Aragorns fighting? That's gonna be awesome. That would have been really cool.
Every time you say that, I just think of the Numa kid.
The what?
Numadorian. I just think of the Numa kid.
Who's Numa kid?
It's that meme that was going around of the kid, the heavy-set kid sitting at his computer and his music starts playing and he's like dancing around to it. You've never seen the Numa kid?
Oh yeah, I didn't know that. That's what.
You know about that? Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't know that's what he was called.
Mm-hmm.
That's the meme of our generation, man, or the YouTube video.
Kid.
Hey, Max, if you ever want to brush up on some of the lore, there's a YouTube channel called Nerd of the Rings. And I'm loving it. It's little, 5 minutes or 10 minute or 15-minute videos. So you're not sitting there watching hours. And they'll just be like, they'll pick a character and they'll go, this is his whole history. And it's like a lot of cool infographics and maps and stuff. Nerd of the Rings.
Are you saying something?
They also do breakdowns of the TV show. I'm sorry?
Are you saying there's something wrong with YouTube channels that are multiple hours ish?
Well, they can be. Some people don't have time to sit down and watch 2 hours of the history of Elrond.
I'm just saying because all of our episodes are over 2 hours. Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, I just subscribed to that channel.
Mom's totally passed out already. She didn't even last like 40 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I'm good. I've said my piece about Rings of Power for this week. I just didn't want the freaking episode to end. I loved it. And
that was my favorite part.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, I'd say all the screaming on the internet, I don't know. As a long time Tolkien fan, I feel like they're wrong. There's nothing wrong with the show.
I agree with you.
Like it's everything now. Like I'm just getting sick and tired of people are pissed because Ariel's black in the new movie, or they're pissed because of this, or just shut the fuck up. Watch it or don't watch it. Like, just
hey,
shit out of me.
You shut up, because being outraged on the internet is what we do every week. All right, without being outraged on the internet, we wouldn't have a show.
But for the dumbest shit,
you're done. You're done.
I'm with Lance, but let's move on.
But I don't think I'm wrong. I mean, there's people that that are pissed about this Little Mermaid thing, and it's like, just shut the fuck up, man.
Dude,
It's a
that trailer
fictional
gave
character.
me chills. I loved the little teaser personally.
There was one thing she did in the song that I didn't like, but I really don't give a shit that she's a black
They
girl.
do water effects better than
stupid.
Aquaman.
Yes,
Why
they
do you guys even give a shit about Little Mermaid anyway? Like, come on.
And that's the joke I've seen online. All these men who
Like,
don't give a
what the
crap
fuck?
anyway.
I don't want to talk about Little Mermaid. Like, this is ridiculous.
Well, I'm gonna probably take my girls to go see it, but I don't understand why people care. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. People were pissed off.
Come on,
about Michael B.
fanboys.
Jordan.
Focus your rage on Star Wars and just stick to
But
that.
even then, just watch it or don't.
Leave the
It's
kiddie
too.
stuff
That's
be.
too easy now. That's too easy now, Ish.
It's
I just
easy.
like
Focusing
to
your
be-
rage on Star Wars is just too easy.
I just like to be happy. So I don't complain as much as I used to because I'm just like, I just want to be entertained and enjoy my life. And I enjoy my life by not complaining as much.
What really pisses me off is that they're attacking these things, but a lot of these, like Kevin Feige, who makes all these Marvel movies, loves the properties, and then people get so mad because he makes a change in a character or something like that. And he's like, well, he loves them enough that like he's not trying. It's not like Rian Johnson, who isn't into Star Wars and made a Star Wars movie and everybody got pissed at him. He didn't have the love for the franchise, but
Yeah,
it just doesn't
J.J.
make sense to
Abrams
me.
made Star Trek movies.
Which that's one of
Yeah.
the best fucking jokes in Clerks 3.
Rian Johnson.
is well.
Yeah. Where he talks about, where Randall talks about the Mandalorian, like he's recapping the Mandalorian, and then he's like, I shit you not, Luke fucking Skywalker shows up. And I'm talking the young, sexy Luke, like from Return of the Jedi, not the old get off my lawn Luke, not the old get off my lawn Luke from from the Last Jedi.
Yeah. He's telling his heart surgeon the story.
And it's funny because his heart surgeon is the chick who plays the like spaceship mechanic in the Mandalorian.
Yeah. And then she turns, they're talking about Batman, and she turns around to the guy and says, with great power comes great responsibility, in Batman's voice. It's hysterical, dude. And he goes, what the fuck did you just say? That movie's awesome. I love that movie. Which, that's a nice segue. Are you guys done talking about Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I tried to get you to change the slide a few minutes ago.
Then we're going to talk about Clerks. Clerks 3.
If you haven't seen it yet, you can turn off now because we're probably going to get to spoilers. I did a nice, quick 6-minute spoiler-free review of it on the channel. If you want to check that out, I'd appreciate it.
And Max, I am begging you to watch these movies because Max has never seen any of them.
I've seen the second one.
Yeah, the second one, and Matt, I know, likes the second one. I don't like the second one. The first one, though, is phenomenal. Like, the first one is considered a cinema classic. Would you agree with that, Ish? The first black and white.
I would, with the caveat that I don't really, it never really did anything for me, but I do agree it's a cult classic at the very least.
Yes, it's considered a very pivotal movie as far as the cinema tapestry is concerned.
It did nothing for you, but yet you literally live this life every day when you're at work. You always talk about the customers that come in and say stupid shit.
No, and I was at the very same time this movie came out. I was like a wannabe Kevin Smith in film school, young and up and coming filmmaker. And then it was like he made this movie. I was almost a little jealous at first. I was like, I could have done that even better. But
yeah, I just feel like specifically with Clerks,
it definitely ushered in the era of this might not be the best term, of the kind of the homemade movie. Where you literally self-financed a movie, you made it on equipment you owned, and you found a distributor, which today the movies like that are a dime a dozen, right? So the entire movies are made on fucking iPhones.
I mean, that's like Napoleon Dynamite was. It was just like this budget movie, and I loved it.
Napoleon Dynamite I would put in a close category to Clerks 1 as far as the, like, how they were created. You know what I mean? Napoleon Dynamite was actually a college assignment. Like, this guy made that movie to turn in for a college assignment. But whatever the director or writer's name is. But Clerks 1, dude, like, it is so relatable. Like, yes, there's some outlandish things that happen, but apparently all these things actually happened, or for the most part, they happened, right, Matt? Like they were stories from when these two guys worked at this convenience store.
Kevin and Brian Johnson worked at the
convenience
stop.
the convenience
Dude,
store they're
that gif
filming
is
at
killing
is the
me.
one that they're
Oh my
working at.
God.
So the convenience store where they're filming at is a real convenience store, and it's the one that they actually worked at before he became a film director.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just great. And this third movie is so, like, everything about it is just meta. So the first movie is all black and white. It's about them, you know, in their dead end jobs, working in this convenience store. Some crazy shit happens. The second movie, the convenience store burns down, right? And they go work at this fast food place.
Movies.
And then the third one, they have purchased the convenience store. They're now, Randall and Dante are now the owners of it. And this is all in the trailer. Randall has a heart attack, has kind of a reacquaintance with his life, and decides to create a movie, thus taking it, and they recreate shots from the first Clerks. And it talks about why it's in black and white. And it talks about, it brings back all these original actors from the first movie, which was almost 30 years ago now, right? Yeah.
24.
28 years.
28 years. Nearly 30 years ago, they bring all these actors back to replay the roles that they played nearly 30 years ago and redo these scenes for Clerks 3. It is probably the most fantastic culmination of 3 movies that I've ever seen. Would you agree, Matt? As far as the trilogy is concerned, it buttons up this trilogy so nicely, better than anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, and it allowed Kevin to really go back and, you know, look at Clerks 28 years later and, you know, finally say, fuck it, I'm going to do this movie the way I wanted to do it and not the way the studio made me do it. Because if you know the original Clerks, Dante dies. He gets shot and dies at the end of the original Clerks
They never
movie,
show him dying, but he gets shot.
Right. But they change it to where him and Randall have that big fight. So in this movie, in a lot of ways, Kevin finally got to go back and make Clerks the way he wanted without studio input making him change things.
Yeah, Lionsgate gave him completely free reign.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful movie. Dude, I cried at the end of this movie. And Matt, I know you did. Oh, okay. I was worried Matt was going to act tough on this show because he got a lump in his
I did.
throat too. Yeah. And Kevin Smith, he comes on the credits and he starts talking about how grateful he is to everybody that's followed him throughout his career. Like, he's talking over the credits, saying basically, thank you for supporting me and thank you for seeing these movies and, you know, why I made these movies and why they mean so much to me. It is so heartwarming, just every aspect of this movie. And it's funny. There's a lot of funny stuff. I was kind of talking to Max and he just left. I don't know, man. I never thought Clerks would make me cry, dude. I never thought that in a million years.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I was talking to my buddy Tim about it, and he was like, "Well, it wasn't what I expected. It doesn't have a lot of laughs in it. It's more serious." And it makes sense because you got to think, like, he's pitching this movie to kids who are adults now who grew up watching this, who are in that same situation. So it's only the natural progression that this movie goes to, from the dick and fart jokes and, you know, what Clerks was to Clerks 2, and now the culmination of men in their middle age, because they're both in their 50s,
working at a convenience store.
Yeah, working at a convenience store, and they're faced with their own mortality. Both of them in very similar yet different ways, and it's more of a serious movie about them really dealing with that and how you look at life and how you view things, because there's a lot of times in the movie where they're talking about Clerks being Randall's life, and he constantly reminds people, and Dante, like, this is a movie about my life. This is a movie about my life. This is a movie about my life. And it's like, you don't take stock. You're so self-absorbed. You don't take stock of what's really going on around you and who's around you and really the people that share that story with you until it's too late. So
yeah,
it was super fucking good.
That's one of the best lines of the exchange. Are we getting into spoilers now?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to talk spoilers, we can.
Yeah, well, there's a spoiler-free review that Matt did yesterday that's on the channel, but we're gonna get into spoilers now because spoiler. You want to fix that?
I didn't even write that. Who did
no,
that?
I did it. I think I just typed too fast. Spoiler review. The most heart-wrenching scene of the movie, the best scene of the movie is at the end of the movie, Dante. So the movie starts with Randall having a heart attack. The movie ends with Dante having a heart attack. He's in the hospital. They won't let Randall see him. Randall sneaks in and says, hey, like they just had this big fight, and that's kind of what causes Dante's heart attack. They have this big fight. He breaks in the hospital. He spends all this time editing his movie, brings the edit to Dante in the hospital and says, hey man, this wasn't my movie. This was like, you were there. This is your story. Like he kind of comes to the realization of how important Dante is to the whole Clerks storyline. Right. And he's crying, and it's really the first time you see Randall be more than just a character. You know what I mean, Matt? Like it's like you see him as an actual human being that has feelings when he's never presented himself that way.
Yeah, and there's a lot of Star Wars references in this movie because it wouldn't be Clerks without Star Wars references. But Randall refers to Dante as the Dak, like, and even when he's writing the script, he calls him Dan T, and like Dan T is a hideous fucking chode of a man, and like Dante says, I've worked in this the quick stop with you all these years, and in this script I only get like these little minuscule parts, and
he doesn't even show up till the third act or something like that.
Yeah, and he calls him the Dak. He's not C-3PO, he's not R2-D2, he's not Chewie, he's not Han, he's the Dak, Luke Skywalker's gunner. And it's at the end of the movie where he finally like shows Dante the finished movie, and it's actually playing real footage from the movie Clerks. And he says that, I was wrong. You're the Luke Skywalker in my story. You always have been. But like I said, it deals with loss in a lot of ways, because not only is Randall dealing with his own mortality after having the same, heart attack Kevin Smith did, and wants to make a movie about his life and is upset that he didn't do anything. You have Dante on the other hand dealing with the death of his wife Becky and their daughter Grace, and how he really didn't get any time with her. Because I mean, it is spoilers, but if you've watched Clerks 2, at the end where they get engaged, a couple months later, she gets hit by a drunk driver and dies.
And so she's pregnant at the time.
Yeah, when she's pregnant. And so like you have Dante still grieving that death and dealing with that, and not with her being around, and still like he can't go into the movies they worked at. And there's a lot of things that he can't do. And
Randall's oblivious to all this. Yeah.
And so he gets drunk and comes back, and they're shooting the end scene of Clerks, the salsa shark scene in Clerks, where they had the big fight, and Dante explodes at him. And Randall tells him, he's like, you're fucking this up for me, man. Why don't you think about someone other than your fucking self? And calls him selfish. And Dante kind of explodes and just flips out on him. And he's like, you almost died, boo fucking who? The boy who cried heart attack. And he's like, I did fucking die. Some of us did fucking die, because he lost his wife and kid. And that's when he has the heart attack and it dies. And it leaves Randall alone with Elias. And it ends the way Smith wanted to originally end Clerks, with Dante dying. But this movie was so well kept under wraps that I never saw the Dante death coming. And like, even like Erin said it to me after we saw it, she's like, it kind of foreshadows it in the beginning, because she tells him that he needs to get his heart checked out if they've been having the same diet. And then Dante drops dead from the same type of heart attack, because only 80% of the people who get this kind of heart attack die.
Yeah.
So it's just it's crazy. Like, it's very eye-opening, and it was very like it really caught me off guard, and I was like, oh shit, man, you know, like it was like a swift punch to the gut.
Can I
But-
ask you something? Well, I have two thoughts. So this Jay and Silent Bob, Mallrats, it's all in the same universe. This is the culmination of Clerks. But are we going to see Randall again in some capacity? Like, is there potential for that?
You could potentially see him again down the line. I think this is definitely the end of the Clerks trilogy. Like, you might see Dante and Randall pop up kind of like they do in like Reboot.
Well, not Dante.
Well, even if it's something that takes place before the events of Clerks 3, you might see Dante again. Randall could pop up anywhere. Like, if they do a Mallrats sequel, Randall could pop up at some point. Like, you could definitely see more from Randall going forward, but this was definitely like the perfect culmination of this trilogy. And like, I've seen it twice. I saw it twice. Like I said in my review, the first time I was screaming, it's a 10, it's a 10, it's fantastic, it's a 10. Then I watched it again, and it really, like, there's more I would want from it. I kind of want a little bit more of that humor and stuff mixed in with the seriousness, and I kind of felt like there was some stuff that dragged on for a little bit longer than it need to, but I liked it. I really can't wait to own it on DVD, and I'm essentially really thinking about going to the road show when it's here in November.
I was too until I saw the price of those tickets, $55.
$50
to watch the movie, but you don't really get anything else out of it, right?
Well, I'd probably do the VIP one.
How much is that?
$125.
What does the VIP one get you?
You got you get a signed copy of the Clerks 3, the original Clerks 3 script. You get a photo op with Kevin Smith. You get a lanyard and some other stuff.
That sounds more worth it. I may do that. It's in November, right? Isn't it the end of November?
Yeah.
I may do that. I wonder, do you think Jay will be there?
Maybe. I'm not sure.
Is there an opportunity to get my Blunt Man and
November
Chronic
20th.
pop side?
I don't know. I mean, if you do the VIP and he does the photo op, he might sign stuff for you. I don't know how that's going to go.
I want that signed so badly by the both of them. I have Iron Bob signed, but I bought it signed. Like, but dude, well, maybe if you move your wedding around the 20th, Aaron.
No. Because
that's what he said if he's in town for the roadshow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's never going to happen. Listen, I'm a fucking realist. I understand it's never going to happen. It'd be cool
awesome,
if it did. Like,
so you were saying like you wish there was more humor in it. I think that's the reason I'm not a huge fan of Clerks 2 was just because of how stupid it was. Like, I feel there's a place for that in Jay and Silent Bob. I expect Jay and Silent Bob to be stupid. But Clerks 2 is just so over the top. Like, I love Clerks 1, and I definitely love this third movie. But Clerks 2, I've never been a huge fan of.
but see, like Aaron was saying, though, before, she said that she felt like they showed Randall with feeling in the end of the second one. And they kind of do, because he's kind of faced with the realization that there might be life after Dante leaves, and that Dante's so focused on getting out that he doesn't see what's right in front of him, and they should buy the quick stop, and that's what they do. And it's kind of like you kind of start seeing him grow up a little bit there. And I mean, I like the way it went. Like, it's
been years since I've seen it. It's the only one I haven't watched multiple times. Well, in this one, because I just saw it Tuesday for the first time. I plan on watching this again. Maybe it's just something I need to watch again. Maybe I'll have a better appreciation for it than when I first saw it. I was still like a newbie when it came to Kevin Smith when Clerks 2 came out. I saw the original Clerks and Mallrats, but I never really watched anything else. Yeah. It was only a couple years later that I started getting into all of his stuff. And now his movies are some of my favorite movies ever. Like a reboot was just fucking awesome. Jade and Silent Bob Strike Back. Man, I even fucking love Chasing Amy.
I just think this movie does a lot to show you like how self-centered and conceited we can be at times, because Dante's been living with this grief of losing his wife and kid this entire time, and Randall was oblivious until like something happened to him to where he almost died, and he had to have that reflection on his life and feels like he didn't do anything. And Dante even says it. He was like, I almost had everything I wanted, you know. It was within my grasp, and then it all got ripped away from me. So it just goes to show that a lot of times we can be oblivious to what other people, even our best friends, are going through. So
it definitely speaks to look at what's going on around you and the people that you love, and like kind of take other people's struggles into consideration, you know, and like really the true meaning of friendship is being there for each other. And Randall at this time is not really there for Dante when he needs it until it's too late, right? There's always that point where he's like,
but Dante's always there.
Never enough time. Yeah, Dante's always there. I mean, Dante gets his ex-wife to loan the 25 grand to make his movie. Ex-fiance to loan the 25 grand to make his movie, and she's an absolute bitch.
Yeah, and he puts up his half of the quick stop as collateral.
His half of the quick stop to put up as collateral, and it's not even his movie; it's Randall's movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it just shows you that it kind of teaches you the lesson. There's never enough time, right? It's always too late, right? So let's try to be better people, essentially, before it's too late. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Randall has this realization that he's a shitty person to Dante, who's been his number one for his entire life since they were 12 years old, I think, right? Yep. And it isn't until Dante is literally on his deathbed that Randall's like, you do mean something to me, and then he dies.
Well, you know? it's that FOMO, man. Like he realizes that Dante was everything for him, and that now he's about to lose that. And he's coming to the realization that, oh shit, like the most important person in my life, someone who actually cared about me, is gone, is good, you know, is dying. And I love that scene, man. Like
the hospital scene.
When him and Bex are sitting in the movie theater watching the movie,
it's beautiful.
And she says, you know, don't you want to stay till the end? And he is like, no, I've already seen it, and I trust the director. And then he walks away and then dies. I was like, fuck, man. Like that was heavy. Like it just hits different. It doesn't hit as a normal Kevin Smith movie. And I think a lot of people that go into it and are review bombing the shit out of it are just doing so because they feel some sort of way. They just feel some sort of way about Kevin, and you know, being previous. And Aaron, honey, it's okay if you're blowing up the chat. I'm appreciate that you're participating, but it just it hits different. Like it's not a normal Kevin Smith movie. Like if you feel some way about Kevin Smith or somebody he's wronged in the past or some shit he's done, like I see a lot of people screaming about the Clownfish TV shit, and I get it, but it just
Clownfish
it hits
TV.
Yeah, he went on this show and did an interview with them when the leaks about Masters of the Universe came out. The plot leaked, and he basically called them liars and said that's not how it's going to be. And then it was, and he never apologized. So people are pissed off about it, and yada, yada, yada. But
get over yourselves. There's some contractual stuff that he has to basically. Tom Holland said for a year, Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire are not in this movie. Well, guess what?
I mean, he went to some pretty good lengths to like basically call them liars, but it's whatever, man. Every time I've met the man, he's been nothing but generous with his time, and he's been nothing but just the coolest dude, man. And
this movie is just, I would argue that this is probably my favorite movie of his.
Yeah, it's a love letter, man. This movie is essentially a love letter. It's a love letter to this character. It's a love letter to his time at the Quick Stop. Like he talks at the end credit scene, he talks about his time at the Quick Stop and how he views the customers now versus how he viewed them back then. And like, it's a love letter to his time at the Quick Stop. It's a love letter to all the customers that have come in and he based this movie off of. It's a love letter
To
to
his
everybody
career.
who's willing to walk into the store one more time with him in this movie. So it's so well done. And
It's a love letter to his career.
no ish, Rob Liefeld is completely different. But
Wouldn't you say it's a love letter to his career?
absolutely, yeah.
Where he is personally today?
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like, can I just tell you one thing that bothered me about this movie?
absolutely. Let's hear it.
What the fuck is going on with Jason Mewes' mouth? Did he get teeth work or something done?
I haven't noticed.
Every time he talks, I'm like, dude, are you wearing dentures? I could not get past his teeth, dude. I don't know what the fuck I was watching, but something about his teeth. Aaron, help me out. Did you notice it? Because I'm surprised you didn't notice it, Matt, because the minute he starts talking, I was like, what the hell is in his mouth? It looks like he's wearing dentures.
I just love. She says, "I'm with you." I didn't notice it, but I loved all the references in it. Like in it, I noticed more the second watch. Like on his hat in one of the scenes, on Jay's hat, he's got a little pin of Leonardo from the animated series on his hat. He wears a "Buy Me Toys" shirt, which is a Mallrats callback in the movie, and it's just.
I'm trying to find an image of him in that movie.
I mean, he might have had like.
I think he had some work done on his teeth
put
dude, because every time he opens his mouth, I'm like, the fuck is going on?
Maybe. I don't know. But
I don't know.
like the nod to them all thinking that he was filming a porno, because that's what everyone thought when he was eventually talking.
Yeah, 28 days. What does he say? Yeah, it's going to take 28 days for him to learn how to blow himself or something. What does he say? I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah,
I don't know what he said. Can I tell you what I did love about this though? Because this is like a limited release, right? Like,
yeah, it only goes till Sunday, the 18th.
So, sitting in a movie theater. By the way, the movie theater I went to was absolute shit. I'm not going to blast them on here, but I'll never go back there. But the movie theater I went to, sitting next to all these people in their Quick Stop shirts. I was wearing my movie shirt. All these true fans that were there in this movie theater to watch this. And we're all laughing and we're all talking about, like before the movie started, we're all talking about, we were talking about the movie's pop-up that happened, what was that, like a year ago, I think, or something. Yeah. And all talking about Kevin Smith and this and that. And, oh, did you hear they're making a Tusk sequel? Like, why the hell are we getting a Tusk sequel? Like, yeah, like we're all, like overly whitened, Aaron. Yeah, it was something weird. I don't know what it was, but that was so cool to be in a theater and sitting there like with real fans, because this isn't a movie that, it's not like a Marvel movie when you go opening night and there's like casual people there, right? Like these were all true fans of the franchise. You know what I mean? Like true, like diehard fans enough to go the first night and dress up in their gear and stuff. So many people are like, where the hell? I was wearing my Movies Phoenix Sun shirt. You know which one I'm talking about, Matt?
Yeah, they had it for the pop-up.
Everybody's like, where the hell did you get that shirt? I was like, dude, I got it at the pop-up. Apparently there wasn't that many of them or something. I don't know. But everybody's like, that's a fucking awesome shirt. Now I wish I owned a Quick Stop shirt because everybody was there in Quick Stop shirts. But it was just awesome, dude. Just being around. It reminds me of going to like Comic-Con and like sitting in a panel.
Oh, the Aaron just fixed it for you. It hasn't come through yet. She said 21 nights to cinematically suck his own dick.
That's what it was, dude. I was laughing so harder than I probably should have. It was so funny, dude. She says, I just want to add to my earlier thoughts that I told Matt, listening to Kevin Smith at the end of the movie, seeing his personalized thank you notes in the credits, seeing him talk about his life and ...
She's probably still typing.
That was Dude, some of the stuff, dude, we're talking about at the end of the movie is getting me teary-eyed right now. I don't think a movie's ever really had that effect on me. I don't know. All of that is just really made me see why Matt loves him so much. Made me agree with Matt so much about how cool it would be for him to marry us. Oh, it'd be fucking awesome, dude. I just want him to do it so I could go get my fucking Blunt Man and Chronic signed. That's all I want in this life. Is get my Blunt Man and Chronic Funko Pop signed. But I don't know, man. It's just such a fucking great movie. Ish, you're not into Clerks at all, you were saying?
Nah. I thought Clerks 2 was kind of painful to watch.
Oh my God, Ish.
So I don't know about Clerks 3.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of
Hey, even fucking Kevin Smith says he's a terrible filmmaker. So let's not make any bones about this.
Well, that's like me saying I'm a mediocre podcaster. It's stating facts, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and you're glad to do and you're glad to do it, right? And you'll keep doing it as long as, people want you to do it. And that's what he says too. He's like, as long as people want me to make movies, I'll make them and make a bunch of money. But he's like, but I am a shitty movie director. And I'll give him credit at least for self-awareness.
He does.
But he has made Dogma is a pretty good polished movie. That's you watch that and that's you don't sit there and go, oh, that's made by an amateur.
Do you know that when Dogma,
he's had his moments.
He talks about it in the credits, like Dogma, when Dogma came out, it was Lionsgate's highest grossing movie they've ever come out with.
At the time, sure.
Made like $30 million or something like that. What was he saying, Matt, in the credits?
Well, because Lionsgate was a little Canadian company at that point. Like he
said basically Lionsgate was built.
They released like little art films and stuff.
Yeah, he helped build Lionsgate, so it was like really nice to didn't he say, or no, there was another studio that was trying to get the rights to this film. And it always should have been Lionsgate, is what he was saying, or something to that effect.
Exactly. I understand he's self-aware, and he says he's a shitty director. But what draws me to his movies, man, is that I connect to him. Like I've had these conversations with people. Like I've worked in jobs like this. Like I know how annoying customers can be. Customers are not self-aware. They don't know this. They don't understand or know the stupid shit they're saying. And I'm sure Ish can attest to that. Like. You get people every once in a while that say some of the most dumbest shit, and it just makes you scratch your head. Like, what are you talking about? Where do you even get this shit or come up with this shit? And like, it just connects because it connects to me on the fanboy level. The things I talk about with my friends, he talks about in this movie and situations and things like that. And he just adds a little bit more crudeness to it, and it just connects with me. I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. There are movies of his that I can't stand, like Cop Out. Or Yoga Hosers.
Even he can't stand Cop Out.
Yeah, or Yoga Hosers, but I'm not saying he's a fantastic film director by any means, but like you hear all the time, like never meet your heroes. And I've never had a bad experience meeting Kevin or Jay, and I've met them both multiple times. It's just like Kevin's always been just a genuine dude. And
that's kind of why he's like most people regard him as kind of like the resident like nerd, right? He's kind of like, for this kind of stuff that we're into, the Star Wars, the Marvel and DC, he's kind of like, I feel like he's the spokesperson for all of it. You know what I mean? Like
he is kind of, and then it almost sometimes feels a step further, like he's shilling for them. Like he's never gonna say a bad thing ever about a Marvel or DC movie.
He came out and said some pretty bad things about DC.
But did he pick on specific movies? Because those movies come out and he makes a video and he cries and he loved it.
I mean, he picks on like the original Green Lantern movie and stuff.
I know he said things about Justice League and Batman versus Superman that weren't exactly praising. On Fat Man, his podcast, he came out and said stuff about what they got wrong. What was the other thing? Like sometimes he's kind of like, he's a fanboy. So like you'd have to do a lot to get.
I think at a point when he was like that IMDb ambassador and he went on those IMDb cruises, then I think it was like his job was like thumbs up.
Well, that was just for Comic-Con. I mean, essentially that's what the IMDb stuff before, but I get it, man. I understand why people don't like him, but there's just
And I get the opposite.
connect-
I get why he's super popular, and he has
I
he has
connect
a
with his
huge,
movies, man,
huge
and-
following.
but
Like I said, I don't always connect with this movie. I did not like Clerks 2. I wasn't a big fan of Tusk or Yoga Hosers. But this movie, dude, oh, fuck, dude.
I always say the
watched
first
movie
half
100
of Tusk is one of those rare occasions where it's two different movies. Like the first half of Tusk is phenomenal, and then once he transforms into the monster, it shits the bed. So
Speaking of Tusk, Justin Long's little cameo in Clerks 3 was so fucking funny, dude. When he's the nurse, he's like, I gotta shave your scrotum.
yeah.
Oh, dude, I was laughing my ass off. And he's using some weird voice. I don't know where the fuck that voice came from. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I could watch this movie 100 times. I don't think and get bored of it.
Where Reynolds talking about his small dick and how he's been telling Dante for years that it's big.
Yeah, and then he doesn't want to be in the room
Yeah.
when he's getting shaved because he doesn't want the mystique to be.
Yeah. I like how him and Elias have the same like Mount Rushmore tattoo on their legs.
Yep. Did you know Blockchain is Harley Quinn's boyfriend?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
Blockchain Coltrane. Yep, I did.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Austin.
Harley Quinn Smith makes a couple cameos in this movie. She's at the funeral for Dante. She's working in the Quick Stop at the end.
She's Jay's daughter. I don't know if she's working there. She's just wearing the outfit and she's like milkmaiding. She's playing the role her grandmother played in the original.
Yeah.
Because Kevin's mom, that's who's Kevin's mom played. She was the milkmaid.
She is Jay's daughter in Jay and Silent Bob. I forgot about that. That's why she's there at the funeral.
Yep.
Oh, dude, were you laughing your ass off when they thought he was like, hey, we got to help Dante? And he's like, Dante? Who the fuck is Dante? I thought his name was Sergio or something like that.
Yeah.
There's just so many one-liners in this thing.
Just the callbacks, dude. Like dental school, like the fact that he's returning dental school, which is the tape. The girl, the first time you meet Randall in the first one, the girl's sitting outside a Quick Stop or RST Video wanting to rent dental school. Like just that callback, and he's like, "How much do I owe you for late fees?" And he's like, $28,000. He's like, "Oh shit, do you take crypto?"
Oh, he says, "Oh wait, it's not rewound, so $28,000 and 50 cents."
50 cents, yeah.
And then he said, "Oh, dude, I could recite this whole movie. I've only seen it once." And then he says, "Oh shit, do you take crypto?" He's like, "Why? Do you have crypto?" He's like, "No."
Yeah, but like, I love the fact too. Like, the real reason Kevin Smith shot Clerks 1 in black and white is because he couldn't afford a colored camera, so he went with a black and white one. And I love the fact that he worked it in there to this one that Bob shoots it in black and white because he wants it to look like it's coming from a security camera, and so it's called being an artist. So I just love
which I've heard him say that before. I've heard him. He said that before. The security camera thing, hasn't he? Because when he said it in the movie, I was like, oh yeah, like I'm pretty sure I've heard him say that before.
Because the colors in the Quick Stop are ugly. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just like I said, I could go on and on and on about this. I already did a video reviewing it. I liked it. I loved it at first, and then when I rewatched it, there were some things that were like, all right, it's not like a 10. It's not like a masterpiece by any means, but I loved it.
Would you say it's better than Clerks 2?
It is better than Clerks 2, yeah. But I
so
hold
you saw
all
it
three
twice
of those
in theaters.
Mm-hmm. I
It's
hold
only
all
in
three
theaters
of these
till
movies.
Sunday.
Yeah, I hold all three of these movies in high regard, man. Like,
if I didn't have so much homework to do tomorrow, I would go see it again.
I just think that there's so much. I love the commitment by Elias too when he goes goth and renounces Jesus, and every shot he's in like a different goth getup, like Blade Runner. At one point he comes in like a dude from Blade Runner, and then he's like Rocky Horror Picture Show, and it's just like
everything that he thinks that like a goth would be. Yeah. I love that the after credits is like a behind the scenes like interview with like the actors on the movie, and he's in the goth getup in his interview. Like he's in the full face paint and everything. The whole theater died laughing when he came on screen to give his little interview, and he's still.
Oh
in the
yeah,
goth
same
getup.
with my theater. Yeah. I don't know if we can get married anymore, Aaron. She liked 2 better than 1 and 3 better than 2.
I liked 3, 1, 2. I think 1, dude. I don't know. 3 and 1 are
1,
pretty.
3, 2 is 1 is always going to be the top for me, man. Like you can't beat 1.
I just like the amount of heart that was in this one.
Yeah,
I think that wins me over. You wanted more humor. I thought the fact that it had less humor made it more endearing to me. I don't know.
I just wanted
different preferences, I think.
Yeah, I just wanted some different, like more humor in it and some different twists and turns, and not just it to become like this complete meta retelling of the original Clerks. But
it's very linear.
It is.
Yeah, there's no twists or turns, but
there is
some of the shots. Which one?
Well,
the fact Dante dying
was a big twist. Yeah, and
as soon as he's getting drunk, I said, "Oh, they're gonna kill him off in this movie." So I had a little bit of forewarning.
And his fat, and the fact that like they killed Becky, and like I didn't see that coming. Like I was like, when they show it at the beginning, I was like, "What the fuck?" When they show the register with in memory.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, this dude can't catch a break. But we're almost going at 3 hours. I could talk about this movie fucking all night. I'm just gonna leave it there. If you want to go see it, go see it. Like I said, it's in theaters till the 18th. If you don't go see it, it's your loss, man. That's all I'm gonna say. In my opinion.
So I think it's a shame that there's really not much in theaters right now, that this is not a wide release.
But Jay and Silent Bob reboot wasn't either.
Yeah, I don't think it was ever going to be.
I remember that, and yeah, it's not like it's a crowded field right now out there in theaters. You know what I mean? Fucking Top Gun is still like a top 3 movie. You know.
Well, what did I see?
I
think I saw it only cost him like $70 million to make this movie.
70?
Yeah.
For Clerks 3?
Yeah. I think so.
That's an enormous amount of money.
I think that's what it was.
Are you sure it wasn't 7 million?
It might have been 7. Let me double check.
Yeah.
You gotta think of
70 is enormous.
If they did like the I'm wondering if a lot of it comes down to the travel and stuff for the road show and like they're gonna make a lot of that back. Because no other movies do the road show.
He did that with the reboot movie, right? They did like almost like a live thing, and he was in attendance at every showing, like almost like I think at comedy clubs.
7 million. Sorry, you're right. 7 million to make.
So maybe they can make more money showing this at these personalized, exclusive events than as a wide release multiplex movie.
I remember I wanted to go to the Jay and Silent Bob Roadshow, and when I went to go buy tickets, it was sold out.
Yeah. I mean, the reason this movie got made is because all the DVD sales for Jay and Silent Bob reboot, they talk about it. Yeah, so that's why they got to make Clerks, and he touches on that.
So for the DVD sales for the reboot movie from a couple years ago.
Yeah, it gave him funding to make. It gave him funding to make Clerks 3, and that he said that Lionsgate told him, they gave him carte blanche and said, if whatever stories you want to tell under this amount of money, we'll do it. And so
yeah, they didn't give him any oversight. It's pretty awesome. He got to make the movie he wanted to make without any oversight.
So I just hope it leads to us getting a Mallrats 2 and just seeing some of this other stuff come about. I would hate to see him wasted on Tusk 2. I kind of feel like that's a story that happened. It doesn't need to happen again, but what are you gonna do?
But why? Because Yoga Hosers, Tusk, and what's the other one that are all in the same universe?
Well, Yoga Hosers and Tusk are in the same universe, and he wanted to do a horror one called Moose Jaws.
Oh yeah, but that one never got made, right?
Right. He hasn't made that one yet. And supposedly in that movie, Jay and Silent Bob were going to be in it, and you're going to get to see Jason Mewes as Jay get gored by this Killer Moose. So,
Yeah, that was going to be his Canadian trilogy.
yeah, the Great White North trilogy is what they called it.
Yeah.
No, I think True North trilogy.
Maybe, I don't know. I know I've heard it called Great White North trilogy.
Could we get,
Okay.
dude? I hope this brings on, like, wasn't he talking for a long time about a sequel to Dogma?
Dude, I don't know if you could do that. Alan Rickman's dead now, and you'd have to get
Well-
Alanis Morissette involved again.
And he doesn't own Dogma.
Yeah.
He doesn't own Dogma.
Dogma is literally, this is a fact, Dogma is locked away in the Weinstein, like Harvey Weinstein brothers, safe in their vault. And it can never, ever be released on DVD or disc or streaming. That's why you cannot find that movie unless you ever got the original DVD release.
Yeah, that's why it goes for like $169 on eBay.
Yeah.
What?
They have that movie and they locked it in a vault. Kevin Smith
Dogma is
cannot
going
go
for
anywhere
100
near Dogma.
Yeah.
I
Here, I'll
have it sitting on my shelf.
The Blu-ray of Dogma.
Not Blu-ray. I have the DVD. I just thought they never.
Now,
released
Blu-ray is
Blu-ray.
I think it's a bootleg too. Someone just transferring it to a Blu-ray disc.
I have Dogma sitting on my shelf with the DVD.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Right?
Yeah, there's a weird history to that movie and who owns it, and
Why?
it's
would
locked
it,
away.
he's-
Nobody's allowed to release it or do a sequel to it or anything.
Why is that? Why can't they seize Weinstein's assets? And like, doesn't he owe people a bunch of money?
His lawyers probably.
Yeah, I don't know what the whole like background behind all that is.
Oh yeah, Dogma on DVD is $14 on eBay, but that's DVD. Dogma DVD 2-disc special edition, 1997 on eBay. But the Blu-ray is that hard to get, huh? Well, here's one. Dogma full Blu-ray, Dogma $25. But it's probably a bootleg or something. No, it doesn't look like a bootleg.
Like I don't even see like I see Kevin Smith selling every other movie on his website except for Dogma.
Yeah, it says here Dogma is unavailable to stream or purchase digitally due to the film's rights being owned personally by Bob and Harvey Weinstein in a deal that predates streaming. They literally have like the master copy of the movie locked away in a vault. It is also out of print on home media, leading to
2019
price
and it's
in the
the
resale
20th
market.
anniversary of a release. He wasn't even able to do anything for the 20th anniversary.
Yep.
So what happens, I guess. Hollywood.
Petition: return the movie rights to of Dogma to Kevin Smith. Only 791 have signed.
Like even the movie is $40 for the DVD on Amazon.
I just saw it for $13 on Amazon.
I'm looking at it right here. DVD $40.99. The sad fact is you could probably go to like a pawn shop or like a Goodwill and probably find it there.
Get the
I'm pretty
VHS.
sure I bought mine from
Yeah.
Goodwill. Yeah, $20 and so DVD $20.50. New from 1995, used from $31.97.
Probably bootleg.
It says it's
Yeah,
an
so
NTSC
basically-
all region. It's the import.
Yeah.
Basically, there's a better chance of a cop-out sequel than there is to a Dogma sequel.
Right.
But he doesn't own the rights to that movie, but he can't make a sequel to it.
No,
doesn't
dude,
he
the
own-
Weinsteins have it locked, bro.
Yeah, that movie, that print. But if he makes a sequel to, like, doesn't he own the concept of
He
it?
doesn't own anything. They own the characters. They own the story. They own the movie.
But he was able to put Ben
He was
Affleck
just
and
the
Matt
director.
Damon as those characters in what movie were they in?
Matt Damon shows up as a Loki in Reboot.
Reboot. Yeah, so Matt Damon's in Reboot as that character.
Yeah, but Loki is a Norse mythological character. That's public domain. Like the viewer knows it's, you know, because it's Kevin Smith, it's the Loki from those movies. But technically it's like it's not, you know.
This movie is so hard to get that it's the only Kevin Smith movie I don't own.
On Blu-ray.
On Blu-ray or DVD.
Why don't you have it on DVD? You can get it right now.
Because that's a lot of money to pay for it for $40. But
hey, if you're a big fan, and if there is one Kevin Smith movie I would have in my library, it would be Dogma.
And I don't want
dude.
So that
right
they're
here,
all like Blu-ray bootlegs and shit. I don't want a fucking bootleg.
I don't think this is Blu-ray because this is what my movie or not Blu-ray. This is what my right here, $20.
DVD, yeah. I might have to pick that up then.
But it's the import. It's the all region. But this
yeah, so
it works the same. I have all region. Like some of my Supernatural box sets, they're all region. They're the same.
And it's going to be in English, but it'll have like an accent.
No. All it means all region NTSC. It means that it runs on PAL DVD players and the other format. That means it runs on both. That's all that means.
The other format is NTSC. That's us.
Okay, so NTSC runs
NTSC.
And then so it also runs on PAL. That's what all region means.
If it says all region, yeah.
One of my Blu-rays is the Supernatural box set Blu-ray that I have. It's from like Canada.
Yeah, I'm just not. This looks like it's coming from like Korea or something.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm pretty sure you're fine.
Hey, it's better than not owning it.
Yeah, but
at least you have a cool Korean version.
Like I said, I could probably find it at Goodwill or a pawn shop. I just have to go look.
It is for $34.
But all right, well, we're at 3 hours, Lance. Let's
oh yeah, let's call it a night.
Let's wrap this up.
Talking about Dogma DVDs.
So just a little bit of news. Unfortunately, Max is going to be leaving us. Next week is going to be his last show.
He's decided to go to rehab for his drinking problem.
Yeah. So we are going to start holding and be looking out for a new permanent host on the show to replace him. So if you think that you want to get into podcasting, or you think you have something to offer this show, or you think that, you know, anything like that, you would be a good fit, hit us up on the socials, let us know, and we'll try you out on a couple episodes and see what we come across. But Max just is gonna go do the family thing and said he wants to step away. So
he said he'll be on from time to time, but he just can't do it every week like he has been.
So
I'm sure he'll come on
now for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, you're gonna have to carry the torch. It's all on you.
I'm losing my rings, buddy.
Next week will be his final official host episode, right?
Yeah. Yep. So
all right.
Wish Max all the best with his future endeavors. But if you're interested in potentially joining the crew, hit us up on socials and we'll give it a go. But yeah, anything else you want to talk about, Ish?
Yeah, real quick. I don't know if you guys talked. I missed like the first 30 minutes. Did you guys talk about Madame Web and Craven?
I did not. We did not know.
What's happening?
So that's kind of big news. Sony has announced, not that the movies are canceled, but they've kind of halted production on it.
Thank
in hiatus.
Goodness.
Craven
Really?
and Madame Web, yes.
Didn't they push it to make a sequel to something?
Another Venom movie?
No, I thought there was something that
Morbius
they're making
2.
a sequel to that.
I would delay all movies just to make Morbius 2.
What?
That should be a priority.
No, it should not.
I'm just kidding.
It's not Morbin. It is not Morbin time here.
You know, a customer today at the shop was telling me that they're like, "Oh, I saw that Blade might be getting canceled," and I was like, "What?"
I don't think so because they just had it.
And I think they might have misunderstood the other story of the movie being moved from next to Blade to next to Fantastic Four, and they probably saw Blade.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's now a rumor that's been put out there.
Do you think it's so they're saying 3 Sony movies. I'm wondering if it's El Muerto.
I don't understand why that movie's even made.
I don't either. I really think it's pandering. They want to come out with a movie with a primary Latino figure, like in this mainstream. That it's just pandering to people. I don't know, man.
But why cancel Spider-Man related projects?
Because they're trash.
Because Morbius.
Yeah,
flops.
but they make money.
Morbius
You
made
go
no
see
money.
it. You're saying you're not going to go see a Craven movie?
No, I'm not. Especially not with the way they're portraying it.
I
It's gonna be a fucking
you would
vegan
probably
tree
still
hugger.
won't go see it.
I probably will go see it, but Morbius made no money, dude. I mean, they re-released it in a movie. I think it made $6 million.
I'm just over throwing money at these movies to see them, man. Like, it's not worth it anymore. I've been burnt twice now by Venom, burnt by Morbius. Sony has no fucking clue what they're doing. There's taking liberties with your characters, and then there's taking liberties with your characters, and that's what Sony does. They take mad liberties that don't need to be had.
Or the fact that they're coming out with Spider-Man movies with no fucking Spider-Man in it.
Well, and Kraven the Hunter is a hunter, and yet they're gonna have him be an animal like a animal activist in this movie. Like, it doesn't make sense.
He hunts feelings.
Yeah, he hunts flowers
He hunts
and
meat
trees,
eaters.
dogs. Yeah,
He stands outside the KFC and spearheads anybody that walks through the front door.
and flowers.
That's a movie I would see. This like a vigilante PETA person that just goes to people's houses and kills them for eating meat.
So stupid.
But then in a twist move, like the house dog fucking mauls them to death.
Yeah. Or they get food poisoning from like a piece of broccoli.
Anyway, anything else, Ish?
Nah. I'm good, I guess.
Lance, anything else?
No, I'm good, man.
All right.
Yeah, we're good.
Well, I want to say a big thank you to the chat, as always, to Aaron, Hartman Sports Cards, Patrick's, Joe's Doolin, Stick Boys. Who else? Who am I forgetting? Sam,
your fiance.
Aaron, of course, the beautiful and lovely Aaron.
Hartman.
Hartman. I thought I already said Hartman. Zaggy, Patrick. Just the whole
Eric Williamson.
Eric Williams. That's who I was forgetting. Good old Eric Williams.
Whoever this Fantastic World Comics was.
Yeah, who the fuck is that guy?
Fuck that guy.
Commenting gems.
But all right,
that guy. No,
I want to thank everyone for hanging out, and that'll do it for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. We will see you all next time.
That's Matt. I'm Lance. That's Ish.
Everybody knows who he is. Like and subscribe. If you like the video, like and subscribe. If you want to join the cast, we're looking for a new host. So hit us up on socials. And on
Join
that
the party.
note, we outie.
All you freaks and geeks.
Come all you freaks and geeks. Let's listen to Absolute Geek.
Absolute Geek.
We'll go ahead and spread our cheeks
Spread the cheese.
and drink
And
some
we're for
Cosby wine.
We'll
Come
drink
on,
some
Absolute
Cosby wine. It makes me feel real fine. See?